sweater. Let's see how long I can last. Typically, as soon as I start streaming, my computer, it exhibits a lot of heat. And then I have to take off my sweater. Hopefully that won't happen because I'm enjoying wearing a sweater. I feel kind of like I got a blanket wrapped around me, which is nice. And it will protect me from the evil that we're about to witness. From Bullhorn Betty. From was Molly mass repoo-pooed off the platform. And more of her madness. In fact, after I intro you, let me skip this. Hold on. Is this the one where like something pops up and scares you? Oh yeah, I gotta skip that because it really scared the living hell out of me yesterday. And I don't want to have to do the stanky leg. I don't want to have to stanky leg around with my drawers, with the PP on my socks like Betty. I don't want that. I don't want that. So, okay, right here. This is the end. This is what got me last time. Menace got me, dude. Menace got me. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's get updated. We're starting to... I am a little sick today, y'all. You have to bear with me, but we are streaming. This is my job. I gotta work if I'm not debilitated. I'm not debilitated. I'm just a little off kilter. We'll be fine. I'm the opposite of how I was when I made everybody mad. I was really like, you know, energetic and really slap happy. I'm the opposite of that now. I'm a little bit weighed down. I have had enough sleep. I've had more than enough sleep. I'm not sitting in bed. I can't do it. I'll lose my mind. Here we go. Betty has threatened to come after us, the Uni fam. I have heard rumors that she's threatened all of us. You know, there's this clip out there that we played. Zoom in on me, busy. There's this clip out there that we played yesterday where she's saying that she's going, Burnt Toast. It was from Burnt Toast streams where we saw it. And Betty was saying, remember UNIRock? I mean, Jason Smith from Ohio. And I started to realize something about her. She does that in order to try to intimidate the person she's talking about. She has no idea that I've told you all that I'm from Ohio for 9 years. That I've told you my name is Jason Smith for 9 years. That I actually started on my platform not named UNIRock. That was the name of the channel. My name, everyone in the chat called me Jason for the first X amount of months. But then it was really cool. Everyone started calling me Uni and UNIRock, and it just stuck. So she doesn't know these things and thinks in the same way. Do you remember? I have to call back to this before we get going. It's very important. This YouTuber, yeah, I'll go ahead and call her that for the basis of the fact that she's not banned yet. But this YouTuber has been on the platform, and when she gets angry at somebody, what she'll do is not mention them at first. She'll go and spend enormous amount of time doxing them with JLR and Molly, all of her friends. She's got people that we don't even know about. I've finally done... See, when Betty looked into me, I had to do my thing and actually look into Betty. Of course, though, when Betty looks into someone, Betty uses techniques that are illegal. That violate your privacy rights, she doesn't care to break the law or to break TOS, whether she's on platform or not, in order to gain what she wants, in order to get what she wants. She doesn't care to do that. Now, I will not violate your privacy, the law, or TOS when I gather whatever information that I can get. Now, luckily, there's a group of anonymous people out there that have been tracking Betty ever since one of them was viciously doxxed by her, according to them. Now, again, I can't fact check this. There's no way for me to fact check this. I'm not going to ask these people to show me records on their computer. So what I'll do is take it as a rumor. I'll take it as if it's being claimed by a person, and I'm going to share this with you, but I want you not to take it as fact either, because it's someone's claim. But I got a hold of some of my peeps, the old school internet peeps that I chill with, and they put me in touch with a well-known Anon whose anonymous entity, her anonymous a being, at least she seems female, she may be a male, but her anonymous being seems it has the reputation of being viciously doxxed by Betty, to the claim they make. Now, I'm not going to tell you I believe this, but they've said that after their kids and family were doxxed by Betty, that they had to move, and then one of their kids attempted to end their own existence because they had to move a state away from all of their friends. And there's this big story, okay? And I'll go ahead and give you a couple pieces of the story. I don't think it's relevant, but they're saying that when they moved, you know how hard it is for kids to move, and they have these friends that they feel like they're their lifelong, and they are. They're their lifelong friends, and they have to give that away. And they say that when they moved, it sent their family and their children into depression. One of them tried to attempt things. Now, luckily, according to them, everything's okay. But I got this giant story, of course. But what I found out is that Betty is a well-known right-wing extremist troll, and she's been trolling in those circles well before she started on YouTube, and to the point where there's even some very shady but old internet evidence that Betty used to go around and do some really weird and crazy stuff, as in people talked about it, people typed it on message boards, people wrote it out on old Reddit posts, or however and wherever it is, and taking screenshots of it, and it talks about things that she's done and things. And anyway, so getting this build up kind of presence in my mind of what Betty really is about, and if she really does deserve to have her actions reported to Team YouTube in the way that we do, which is the most safest and most respectful, the most following the rules way of reporting something anyone's doing to Team YouTube, which is basically you have to break the rules over and over and over. You have to be warned. We warn people before we do it. We say, look, we're going to report you because you won't stop doing it. And what you're doing is harming these, or illegal, or whatever it's doing. All those things, conditions we have to give them a chance to change and all that. I've decided, after looking into it and thinking about it for a minute, that she is definitely one of the most dangerous individuals left on the platform after Molly was gone. You look at, people are mad because of how we look at House of Williams now. I said from the beginning, as long as these people, like even if Betty right now would just go live and say, okay, so the clip. Okay, let's get back to the clip, because that's where I'm going with this anyway. So that clip that Toasty played, where she's talking about doxing, looking into everything she can on me and all this, again, that's a pattern. That's how she does it. It reminded me of Nonsense when she did it. Remember, she calls and she's talking on the phone on this voicemail to Nonsense, right? And she first starts talking. She makes sure that they know it's Betty. Of course they do. But anyway, then she drops the fact that she knows their real first name. Then she'll drop the hint that she knows their last name. Then they'll drop the hint that they know where they live. Then they'll drop the hint that right? So that's what she did to me. And it started to build this big picture together from the original clip. And so I've determined what we need to do is give Betty one last chance to go to her channel. This is what I'm leading to. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit back, spacey here. I'm a little jumping points, but I'm getting to it. We need to give her the opportunity to go to her channel, and instead of doing that, where she sat and mentioned me and threatened to dox me, and then in the same way she did Nonsense, which was she brings up UNIRock. She then she says my first name. I think she might have said my last name. I don't remember. I don't think she did. But then she mentions the state where I'm from, because obviously that's all the information that she has on me, and she's already gotten it from Molly, right? But we're going to give her the opportunity for her to go to her channel and apologize to everyone that she's ever doxed. I don't want her to even mention me or apologize to me, but she has one chance. You got one chance, Betty, to be a real person. We're giving it to you today. And I know you're watching this. I know if you're not watching it right now, you're going to see it very quickly after I end the stream. And I'm going to give you a chance. I give this chance to many people. And one of your buddies, LB, listen to this, took me up on this in 2019. When I gave LB a chance in 2019, I had found out that LB was faking screenshots, faking emails, framing other creators, using the information that she, when she framed the other creator to run a fundraiser with her friend and collect money for Christmas and all this stuff. And when I offered LB a chance and she came back and said, okay, fine, I'm taking the chance. Uni, leave me alone. I don't want to be, I just want to do my content. I never want to do anything like this ever again. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I left LB alone. I dropped her and I let her do her thing, and I never went at her. And I will give you my ultimatum, Betty. You have one solitary chance to list everything you've done in front of the scenes and behind the scenes. You have one solitary chance. It is right now. I will not wait till tomorrow or later tonight. You have, I don't know, a few hours after I end the stream to take this opportunity. Since you're mentioning my channel name and trying to dox me, I'm giving you a chance. I'm not meeting you with an immediate giving everything to Team YouTube. I'm giving you the opportunity to admit your wrongs, both in front of the camera and behind the camera. And I want you to admit those wrongs on camera on your main channel. It might take you about 7 hours, but you need to tell everybody everything you've done to anybody. And then you can decide whether you want to apologize or not. And if you do that, we will just act like you don't exist. There's your chance. But until you take or deny my chance, I've got to show my audience really who you are. Who you are. Are you going to list your behind the scenes as well, Uni? I sure will. I don't do anything behind the scenes. I'll show you right now what I do behind the scenes. Right here. You join my Discord server, and when we sit in these rooms before I do a stream or after a stream, and while we're talking to each other, while the community is dropping, you know, little clips and stuff like that, right? You're welcome to come in and sit and listen to us. I drop the Discord link all the time. You're welcome to come in and, you know, hear everything we're doing in real time. You know, you can be part of it. If you have an opinion on what we're going to talk about in the next stream, you're more than welcome to tell me what your opinion is. So yes, I have a transparent system. All you have to do is actually join my channel. You don't have to member. You can join the channel, become one of us. You can join the Discord server, jump in when I tag people, because I'll tag everybody. And then we'll go into a room when something is happening out in the community. And this is completely optional. We don't make anybody come in. We don't force anybody in. We don't demand anybody do anything. It's completely optional. I do everything transparently. So you're more than welcome to join, and you can yourself witness me prepping a stream or finding out what happened on the internet. More than welcome to. Now, any other questions here? Tag me if you have a question, because I search for the tags. I go like this and I look for the tags, or I look for my name. Last one I saw the word UNIRock. So you're a good person. There's no way I'd ever give a narcissistic bullying piece of shit Betty a second chance. I'm not giving her a second chance. Oh no, I would never give Betty a second chance after what she's and JLR have already done to tried to do to me that I won't even tell you. They've gotten the wrong person at least 3 times and already went after people who they thought was me. So I'm not even going there because I don't have enough evidence of it to make the claim, or I would, but I'll definitely at least mention the rumor to you. The things I'm being told. You have no clue how many people hate JLR, Bullhorn Betty, and the other, like Molly and them. They have so many enemies. And those enemies are not people that sit on YouTube. They are not people that even have an account on a social media platform. They're just people out there that are anonymous, that track what these people do so that they can attempt to, when they go to a town, inform. I've mentioned this kind of stuff before, and everybody knows this happens. Why? Because they've said this. It's not just that we have the claim out there that this happens, that there's a group of people that have been viciously doxxed and harassed and targeted by these people. And they've been, as an anonymous collective, tracking what these people are doing and then sending it over when they go to a town or whatever, you know, the things that they can do without violating the law or anything like that to help make sure that these people don't hurt anyone or they don't, you know, take advantage of someone else, whatever. That claim's been out there for a really long time. And of course, I will not forgive Betty. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, right? I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying I'm not doing it now. Right? I'd have to hear what she has to say. I'd have to like hear her if she actually is going to admit to everything she's done. I'd have to hear all of this before I would decide whether I'm going to forgive Betty, blah, 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 forgive her or not. I don't have anything to forgive her for, honestly. She hasn't, I mean, she's attempting to dox me and she's attempting to harass the people who she thinks I am, her and JLR. And most likely Molly's involved too. I would assume Molly and other people are involved too, but I don't have that claim. I only have the claim that Betty and JLR are doing it. With a few people who I have no clue who they are. I didn't even recognize their names. But what I'm not saying that I'm going to give Betty a second chance. I'm going to forgive Betty, or that by Betty doing this, it's going to completely, let's say, completely give her any kind of relief of anything. What I'm saying is, I'm telling Betty that there is a way for her to remain on YouTube and keep doing what she's doing, and that would be to never dox anyone again, never tragedy pimp again, and just do a normal show. If she could do that, and I know she can't, I'm not crazy. I have to give these chances to people. You guys have to understand this. I'm not insane. I know she's not going to do it. In fact, she's probably going to do the freaking exact opposite and go on a freaking choking spree and a doxing spree just because I've mentioned this. Oh, Navy, are you around? No, you're at work, aren't you? Damn it. Freaking work, man. Freaking work, bro. Guys, do me a solid, y'all. Check out that paypal.me/UNIROCK link right there and that money sign UNIROCK on Cash App. Check it out for me and let's get moving. So we watched a little bit of this video, but what I want to do is actually make sure it's not muted. Yep. And I want to make sure that we get a good, we get ourselves on a good projection for this stream. Okay. We need ourselves on a good projection here. All right, let's go. Now, make sure if you want to support Menace, if you want to find the link to support Menace, this is Menace to Sobriety, and this is a commentary video. This is a commentary upload, and his link is right here.
I don't lie to you.
I have Menace's full permission to play this video.
You, and I will never lie to you. I shouldn't say I will never lie to you. That would be a complete and utter lie. In investigation.
This is very short. I'm going to play it because we need it for this stream. I know you guys have seen this. Just bear with me. I'm making a point.
Sometimes I do.
Make sure you like and share, please. Make sure you like and share. And if you want to see me wake up, because, you know, I need that coffee, it's paypal.me/UNIROCK. Let me get this shared.
Psychology purposes.
I should share. I should take my own advice and go post this on the community tab and tweet it, shouldn't I?
For people, you have to.
I'm sitting here asking y'all to share my link. And oh, by the way, we're live on Kick. I haven't opened the dashboard yet. I will in just a moment, okay? So I'll shout out anyone over on Kick, but okay, fine. Let me share it. I'm asking you to share, and I haven't even shared my own dang stream yet.
So sometimes I don't mind lying to get a response here. That is Queen Bee. She is a felon, and she sold drugs to kids.
Now, just for context, no, Queen Bee did not. Queen Bee has been honest about what she did. She was working at a gas station, and she got caught in a sting, not checking an ID. So that is not selling drugs to children. They are trying to claim that she was out there running some like manufacturing ring and then having kids as clients and went to prison for 20 years. This is while by the way, JLR is the one who doxed Queen, and he has been to prison for 10 years for violating people in the United States in the most severe way you could ever imagine. And I can't believe he has a channel, and I can't believe people give him money or support him in any way. I just want to make sure I say that. Let's go.
You are a felon, you are a disgusting woman, and you sold drugs to kids. In investigation,
So Betty, what I want to do is build you a picture of Betty with this stream so that you understand my response to Betty threatening me and improperly doxing me and accidentally doxing a bunch of innocent people, I believe in Dayton, Ohio and Columbus, Ohio. And the rumors I've heard are so insane. I wish I could verify them. I've been told that they were trying to leave threatening voice messages on some random person in Dayton, Ohio, because the dude had my name or something. And I've been told that they sent a bunch of food to the house or DoorDash or something like that. And I mean, I've just been told a whole bunch of stuff. Do I have any way of knowing if it's true or not? None whatsoever.
Sometimes I do.
Queen is awesome. She'd live too, going back and forth on. But I know. Queen. I love Queen. And I love jumping on Queen's panel. I've never seen an issue with Queen. I've looked around. I have never seen anyone have a real issue with Queen. There are people out there that'll pretend they have an issue with Queen and they'll lie about Queen, and just like they lie about me. And when I hear someone say that kind of thing about a content creator, do you know what I do? I go look and see what really happened, right? I don't make up my mind about them until I look and see. If I would have listened to some of these people about Queen, I would have hated her. But because I actually said, wait, what really happened? And I just went and looked really quick. You know what I found out? That Queen is one of the funniest, one of the best commentators, and she doesn't dox people and she doesn't go after people. So, I mean, it's incredible that you have these. We need to have a YouTube system of some kind, right? We need to have a system of trusted YouTube creators, and not even from this community, just across the board. And they need to be able to go around and label YouTube creators as either honest or dishonest, or liars or honest, you know? And they need to be, the people that do this need to be able to fact check the creators, take the creators on their word, take the creators on their content, and take the person that's claiming something about them on their content and their word. And there needs to be like a little, rating system. And if there was, it'd be like going to the movies. This is rated T. This is rated M for mature. This is rated R. These people would be rated PL, pathological liar, right? It's just insane to think that people buy any of the stuff that comes out of their mouths, especially when you can find clips of them contradicting themselves repeatedly. I've never found clips of Queen contradicting herself. I've found people claiming that Queen lies, but I've never seen them show a clip of Queen saying one thing and then Queen saying another. I've never seen that.
Things for psych.
Don't forget ICU. Yes, Electro, don't forget ICU. I really do think that some of the hardcore doxers of Molly Golightly, the hardcore evil, like just straight up like stalkers, they are stalkers. They are creeps that worked for Molly, doxing people and sending threats to people. And people like ICU and Goose and them. I do think they work for the others like JLR and Betty and them. I think that they have their own little approved system for who they can trust, right?
Psychology purposes to force people to have to respond. So sometimes I don't mind lying to get a response here.
So basically, Menace shows this to show you that Betty and JLR are lying to get a response from Queen so they can properly dox Queen, so that they can get more information from Queen. Same thing that LB did to me, Leslie Bass, when she had made the claim that I wasn't a veteran, that I didn't go to Iraq or something, and then, or wasn't medevaced, all the crap that they were talking. But then after I posted what they said would clear my name, they just shifted the goalpost, right? And then shifted it some more and shifted it some more until it caved in on them and ended up blowing up in their face, right? Betty has done the same thing with Queen Bee. She lied on Queen, saying that she sold the doo-doo to kids. Let me make sure, because just Betty saying that might have got me the yellow sign. I had the green sign. Things are doing better here, YouTube. But Betty, me reacting to something shouldn't give me that horrible. Okay, good. We don't have it yet. Excellent. Okay. I forget what I was saying now that I checked, but yeah. So basically, you know what I'm saying, though. I don't have to ramble. So let's get going here. I want to make sure. To this day, Betty hasn't shown anything suggesting a conviction for doing any of the things that JLR and Betty claimed. In fact, people have come out and shown the opposite, that Queen Bee only had that one thing on her record, and she had already told the whole internet about it long ago and let everybody know what happened, and it wasn't a big deal. Because I want you to imagine what the point is for her saying and doing this, for Betty saying and doing this. What is the point? That because Queen Bee committed a crime in the past, she did these bad crimes. So if you've done a bad crime in the past, then you shouldn't be able to talk on YouTube. You shouldn't be able to criticize people. You shouldn't be able to have a channel. People shouldn't listen to you talk, right? That's what they're saying. That's what JLR and Betty are saying here. And exactly, I agree. That's why Betty having that long record with all the DVs and having all of that stuff with her, and JLR being 10 years in prison for literally stealing people's retirement money and stealing people's life money and making people go destitute, go hungry by having their money siphoned out of their bank accounts, literally stealing money by stealing their IDs out of their bank accounts, destroying families, destroying lives, destroying college savings. These people don't just have the money magically returned when JLR goes to prison. You know this, right? And that's why when JLR is in prison, he's filing all those false lawsuits, all those false, those things that he filed. He's filing them in Navy will type it in the chat. I don't know how to say it, but it means that he's destitute, so he doesn't have to pay the court fees. So he steals all this money, blows it on meth or whatever the hell he blew it on. And then when he goes to prison, starts filing all these lawsuits so that he can, this is the kind of people that they are. So Betty, let's apply what you're saying about Queen Bee to you and JLR. So the bad person was Queen Bee, but you guys lied about Queen Bee. But we know the truth about you, Betty, and we know the truth about JLR. So what does that mean now? Wouldn't that mean that you should take your own advice and shut down your channel, Betty? Well, that is if you weren't a pathological liar or a hypocrite. And people don't understand hypocrisy anymore. And I don't mean us. I mean the people that follow Molly, the people that are in these hate groups, the people that are following the anti-groups out there for people. And that is not, so these people, these hate groups, these anti-groups, they want to blend themselves in with criticizers. And that's the worst thing you can ever let them do. People like Elmo, people like the potato heads, the people I call the potato heads, right? Jilly Bean, the potato head, and Beta the potato head, and Elmo the potato head. They want you to believe that they're actual commentators or that they're actual, people that give an opinion on YouTube. In reality, though, they're just people in targeted harassment campaigns that try to employ themselves to other YouTubers if those YouTubers, number one, will give them a benefit of clout or money, or number two would be that. Number one would be they hate the same people that they hate. As long as those things work, they're going to employ themselves out. And once they're employed, they're going to change their opinion any way they have to. I mean, you know what? I've been trying to decide whether we should watch Elmo on Queen Bee. I'll ask you, should we watch the potato head that went on Queen Bee's panel? You tell me. If you vote yes, we'll watch it.
You should be in prison for your charges, okay?
See, and this is, I want you to listen to Dolly, but I want you to listen to Dolly while we let the vote run. I want you to listen to Dolly in a different context. Oh shit, let me share my links, man. Y'all. PayPal.me/UNIROCK, #UNIROCK, y'all. It ain't easy on these YouTube streets.
Robbery, manufacturing.
Listen to what he says, please. Because one thing that people are doing, they're getting so, and this was me in the beginning. I was so distracted by what they were doing to Queen Bee. I was mad that they were doing this to someone that I do consider an acquaintance, an internet friend, or an acquaintance that I think is a good person, right? I was angry, and it was blinding my vision. It was blinding me. It really, truly was. It was making me not even listen. Oh, hold up. Rachel, give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, sorry. I was blind. I was deafened to what he actually said here. Okay, please, we need to hear what he's actually saying. I'd also like to know, since we're already running a poll, I want to run another poll. But if you agree with this poll, just put a 1 in the chat. Should we look into what Dolly Vision has done on the platform? Should we actually look? Has he done enough damage on the platform that we should actually document it? 1 in the chat if you think we should, but let's hear what he says.
You should be in prison for your charges.
This is a true crime YouTuber. So this man thinks that when you get charged with a crime, you should be in prison for those charges. Well, okay, that does make sense. That is if you are guilty of those charges, not if you're innocent of those charges. So he has to understand that as a true... Oh, you guys agree? Okay. He has to understand that as a true crime YouTuber, right? He has to understand that as a true crime YouTuber. He ain't just the worst true crime YouTuber on the history of the platform, correct? Worst true crime YouTuber on the history. Sorry, I opened my Kick dashboards just to make sure I've got it opened over there. Let me jump back over here. Okay. Because if he really does understand true crime, he would know that being charged with a crime does not mean that you're guilty of the crime. Even there are people that have been charged with crimes and convicted of crimes that have gone in and then been released later because they got the wrong person. Now, that depends on the evidence. That depends on the evidence that's there in every single case. But wouldn't someone that covers true crime at the very baseline have to know this, right?
Okay. Robbery, manufacturing of drugs, drugs and alcohol to children, drugs and alcohol to children.
So as you've heard from this clip, and you'll hear more from as it goes, he doesn't even understand that he's saying she was charged, not convicted. I wonder if he did that on purpose or not, because he knows he's lying. He's lying in tandem with JLR and Betty. It is a plot. It was a plan they did to try and make Queen not popular. They were mad that Queen was getting 800, 1,200, 1,600, and even higher numbers. They wanted those numbers. They were jealous. They formed a plot with their own collective jealousy to try to go in. Now, how do I know this? Number one, when Betty gets angry, she'll try to brag about how many views and how much money she makes. When Dolly got mad at me, he jumped into my chat and embarrassed himself by saying, well, come talk to me when you have as many subs as me, not knowing that I have more subs than him on my platforms. Just if you ignore rockAlot altogether, let's not even take the 8,000, 7,000 people here and just take my main channel and UNIRock 2. I've got way more subs than him. Embarrassed himself. But what that tells me, again, you got to look at the intent. You got to look at why they say what they say. You got to look at why they're upset about what they're upset about. The intent there is to show that he puts a lot of stake into how many people that watch him or how many people are subscribed to him. He, in fact, ranks himself by that, right? And that's why when they saw Queen Bee doing so good, it offended them so bad.
Drugs and alcohol to children.
Now, this is the best part. This is the best part because, again, what's happening here, just so you understand, is that this unshowered individual wants to appear as if he's smart and if he is winning and that him and his friends are not in the wrong and that they have adequately defended themselves. He wants to make you think that he actually lives in a really nice house, and that's why he has this background, this green screen background keyed in the way he does. So when he comes in and starts to admit that, in fact, Queen Bee, who they are lying about, is not the things they're saying about her, but that him and his friends are cyber stalkers and real life stalkers, creepers, weirdos. That's a big kind of shift in the realization of what we're looking at.
Body, you know what the people you mess with, lady, that they're pulling up, they're doing the Freedom Information Act. They pulling up every file. They're going to pull up every court document, every
I really do think that these people are very scared of their own histories, of their own backgrounds. I think they're very ashamed of their lives for some reason. They don't look at their past issues, their past crimes as mistakes because they've never repented or changed. They've never mentally understood what they did wrong, how they hurt others, why they shouldn't do what they did. They just look at themselves as a victim for being caught. Because of that, they come out and they look at pasts or histories of people as something people fear. But if you're Queen Bee, you don't fear your history. You're proud of your history. If you're myself, I don't fear my history. It made me what I am right now. It made me who I am. And unlike this unwashed, unlaundered clothing wearing individual on the screen, unlike him, I like who I am. I love who I am, and I have to in order to take care of my family and to be there for my girlfriend and to be there for other people. So the mistakes I've made in the past are what make me what I am now. Because I've overcome them, because I've changed, because I've grown from them. See what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. I make more mistakes than anybody, I would assume. Point is, though, how would you live your life if every mistake you ever made, you never learned anything from it? You never changed from it. And the past, your past, was something to fear.
Everything that was said, everything that you've done, everything.
See how he's saying it in this cocky air, this cocky attitude.
You did that to yourself. You did it to yourself because you got up there talking shit. Instead of staying in your own lane, right? Instead of staying in your own lane.
One of the most historically funny, memeable things is about to happen. Just so you're ready.
You couldn't. You had to veer into everybody else's lane.
That's right, Amberly. If you nullify your mistakes, if you are ashamed of them, you can regret them, right? You can look back and say, man, what would have happened if I didn't make those mistakes? That's called regretting them. Completely different than being ashamed of them. Well, I guess you could be ashamed of them and at the same time grow from them, but you get what I mean. Once you've grown from them, you're not as ashamed of them. Sometimes you've done something, I would imagine like Betty, that you could never forgive yourself for. Realistically, you got to remember they are narcissists, but they still have that baseline guilt system in them. And they, because Betty has done things that are so terrible to other people, so destructive to herself and other people, I don't think she'll ever be able to forgive herself. And I think it's ingrained in her. And I know JLR has driven himself crazy long ago. He lost his mind due to the things that he did to others, due to what he chose to do to betray the people around him, to harm the people around him. Long ago, he's lost his mind. He's not in left field. That man is in another universe. He's the most dangerous out of the bunch. Betty, on the other hand, while equally, or I'm not equally, very close to equally the same way there with JLR, I don't think she's as directly dangerous as JLR. Only by a small margin.
Right? All right. Well, now everybody's in your lane. Everybody's in your lane.
I want to know every fundraiser this man's ever done. I want to know every fundraiser this man's ever done. I think we can handle Dolly by not getting in his lane, because it's a bad lane to be in. But I think that just by analyzing every fundraiser that he's ever done, every grift he's ever done, I think that we'll be able to accomplish everything that needs to be accomplished about Mr. Dolly.
And your lane is a bad lane to be in. All right. It's a bad lane to be in.
Bad lane. I'm not going to do it. I know it annoys you guys. You should have been on kick.com/UNIRock yesterday, because I literally played a banjo background song while singing It's a Bad Lane to Be In. It was excellent. Oh, I believe they have no shame. I do. But I think they have that internal guilt system still there. I think they have taught themselves to ignore it. And they could have taught, like with JLR, obviously, his exists in his subconscious. See, the thing about a human being, you can, if you look into psychology, in your active mind, you can choose to condition yourself to ignore guilt and shame until it becomes something that might just be a little tiny tinge whenever you feel it, as opposed to an overwhelming feeling like most normal people would have. Like if you shot somebody, you'd feel an overwhelming shock of guilt to the point you'd go into shock. Your mind and body would enter shock because of what you did to this other person. The empathy, the guilt would overwhelm you. They, though, on the other hand, I mean maliciously, I don't mean in a defense fashion, but you know, in a mean way. They, on the other hand, inflicting whatever damage, harm, or hatred upon someone else, they've conditioned themselves to feel good from that. And it's an evil feeling of good. If you've ever watched the movie Hellraiser, right? It's about these demons that these people end up forming this kind of like pact with these demons, and these demons take them into a hell for eternity. And when they get there, they basically let them know that you will have unlimited pleasure, but there is no way to experience unlimited pleasure unless you know unlimited pain. And then the souls that have gone into the Celebite, those are the demons, realm, realize what they've done. Okay. Now, in that same concept, I want you to imagine that same kind of like concept of how pleasure and pain can be flipped and warped, that they do feel elated or happy. They do get a dopamine hit when they dox and stalk people, but they've just pushed their guilt back into their subconscious. They haven't annihilated it. They haven't completely obliterated it. It's why they notice how all of them will complain about how they can't sleep at night, and they end up having these like angry outbursts, and they're always on edge, right? In my opinion, they feel that way because they have squashed their guilt and shame into their subconscious. I don't think they've annihilated it at all. I don't know what this is, but let's just check it out real quick.
Hey, Amanda, we're going to go to your house and stream outside your house. Did you know that? Yep.
Oh, yeah, I remember this one. Okay, so we've got everything we need, I'm pretty sure here.
That they're going to show up at their door. It's fine.
Oh, no, we need
You
this
got something to say to us? Show up yourself.
Yeah, show your face.
Why don't you
She
show up
won't show
yourself?
her face, and as soon as she does, she is done.
So we just heard both of them invite their criticizers to show up and criticize them to their faces.
This is how angry they are, y'all. This is why I brought up shooting someone else. Here you go.
So you know what we're going to do? We're going to show her face. They're on their channel actually conspiring.
You're going to dox her. I'm glad you admit it. This is a great clip for Team YouTube, Betty. Team YouTube, I'm sure what do you think Team YouTube loves or hates it when someone gets mad at a person that has a little avatar, like a little cartoon avatar, and you get mad at them, so you show their face, robbing them of the ability to be able to. Do you think YouTube likes that, or do you think they don't like that? Well, we need to find out, Betty, because I'm confused there. I'm not doing it to be mean to you. I just want to answer that question, Betty. You can't get mad. You think it's okay to dox me. I would never do that to you. Right? If you can dox me without getting upset about it or feeling shame or apologizing, well, why in the world would you ever get mad at me for tagging Team YouTube with your clips? It really baffles my mind. It baffles my mind because I have no clue what I'm supposed to do other than go to YouTube's terms of service, go to YouTube's blog, their support page, go through it and look and look at what they tell us creators to do if someone doxes us. Somebody comes after our families, just because we gave an opinion and did a show under fair use, respecting everyone's rights and opinions and their rights. What are we supposed to do? Well, YouTube says you go and tag Team YouTube on Twitter. You don't tell your audience to mass report, because if you tell your audience to mass report, in the past, it would affect the channel if too many reports came in. It would take a channel down if somebody reported a channel in a very crazy way. Thank you, Clark. Make sure you sub to UNIRock too, because that's where the main content goes. This is the long, boring stuff. The short, entertaining stuff is on UNIRock too, but thank you, Clark. So when you think about mass reporting, though, and I have a hard time committing to the belief of it, but I actually do believe it, YouTube made changes about over a year ago, about a year and 2 months, a year and 4 months ago, that they aren't allowing the algorithm itself to take down channels anymore. And I've explained this, but I want to make sure you all hear it. So please give me 10 seconds. Now remember, as if where YouTube would allow the algorithm to pull a channel if too many reports came in and then be looked at by a person, they've fixed the system by making it to where the algorithm cannot take down a channel until a human being has checked it, because of the amount of false takedowns that were happening in the past. Just so that you're prepared. You with me? Okay.
To have somebody come to my house and mess with my house. So you're talking about criminals conspiring to do criminal activity.
We are talking about criminals, you and JLR, conspiring to do criminal activity against YouTubers, and how we're supposed to report it to YouTube. Yes. They tell us to tag Team YouTube, as to finish the previous point. So why do you get so upset and call it mass reporting? When mass reporting, by definition, would be if I sit right here and I tell my audience to go file multiple reports over and over, go report and report. That's mass reporting, which is the opposite, with the proof being the putting on my channel. Every clip that's there. Never have I told people to do that. I've gone through the YouTube approved system.
Literally on the streets of YouTube and doing it live.
So when Molly goes live and tells someone on the streets of YouTube that they're going to show up at their door, it's fine. But if anyone else does it, they're conspiring to commit criminal activity.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I'm a concealed weapons permit holder.
So again, you now may realize why I've decided to bring you this video this morning, as much as we've been streaming for about 40 minutes, 30 minutes after the intro, because this is probably the most important clip for all of you to absorb about Bullhorn Betty. We're going to have a debate in just a minute after this is over. Before we go into the important videos, which are coming up, we're not even close to the important stuff yet. But I want you to realize that Betty is a professed concealed gun carrier. Okay? Now, there are laws and restrictions put on people. And what we've done as a community is go in and look at those laws. They may call that doxing. How is looking at the laws doxing? How is taking something you've said out loud and admitted to clearly and then applying the laws to that doxing? You're starting to understand just how pathological these liars are. They're on another level, especially the potato heads that defend them. Let's take a look at our poll. Should we watch the potato heads that went on Queen Bee's panel? Yes, you say so. I didn't want to do it. I've been trying to avoid it. I don't like giving attention to these smaller creators that lie like this, because they are so desperate. What they want is for me to show them at all in any way, or mention them in any way, so that you might get curious and go click their stuff. If they get 5 views out of me mentioning them, they have accomplished one of their goals. That is how bad they are at this. That's how much they chase clout. So can I get the video of Elmo going on Queen's panel, please? I think it's time to take a look-see. I had to go check on Rachel in a second. So let's get this last part of this video done. And then we're going to talk about the issue of Betty carrying a concealed weapon. Wouldn't you think that people with domestics are probably people that would never qualify for the permit? Hell, they probably wouldn't even be allowed to have them in their home. The way I thought it was set up, and of course we've confirmed pretty much all of this, that if you have a domestic, that you can't live with someone that has a weapon because you're likely in the heat of an argument, the heat of an anger flare-up, the heat of you losing control, to have options of what you can do. And if you're known to choke people like Betty is, if you're known to beat people in the teeth until they're loose like Betty and making people bleed like Betty, then of course, if there was a weapon there, they want people to be safe. They don't want that person to grab it. You feeling me? Just think about that for a minute before we move on, because that's just the tip of the iceberg.
I carry my gun. I know how to use my gun. If I feel threatened, believe
one
me.
warning.
I will
Get one
my
warning.
gun.
You get.
So they want Queen Bee to come to their homes. They just said this. And they said if Queen Bee does come to their home, they're going to do what?
Get one warning, and then you aim for their friggin' head.
There's no way for me to properly commentate on this other than to say that they have taken the concept of framing Queen Bee and threatening Queen Bee, and they have obsessed over it for days without sleep, inflamed by the substances that they put into themselves, until they've gone mad, until they've lost track. The concept, the original seed of a thought, was to frame Queen Bee for crimes. Right? See, when I first watched this, I didn't realize any of this. I had to see it again. If she gets caught, it's a mandatory 5-year minimum sentence. Exactly, Booty. That's why I love for you guys to come in with what you've read and the research you've done. That's why I put you on the screen, to give you a chance to state what you've read, what you've looked up, what you've done. That's why I love that you guys share your knowledge with me while we're going through this. And it might seem corny, but it's true. But they've taken the seed of thought. Now, you have experienced having a thought, having a concept that you, either due to fear or either due to the opposite of fear, a good thing. And you've taken it to an extreme and become obsessed, and it's perverted. It is corrupted. They have corrupted the concept of framing Queen Bee to where they admit online that they want to frame her so they can murder her. Because this is murder, Betty. It's murder, Molly. Inviting her to your home to knock on your door. She could come now. You did that. But to say that if they try to come and once they step on your property, you're going to aim for their head, that's not defense. Doesn't matter what state you live in. You know this. Do they really mean what they're saying? Only they know that. But what I believe is they're so scared and they're so obsessive and they're so corrupted that they've taken the seed of the idea of framing Queen, which is what they got together in their group to do days before, and it's corrupted into framing her for murmur.
Oh, Molly, shut the fuck up. Tell us you've never fired a weapon before without telling us you've never fired a weapon before.
I don't give a warning. In Florida, you don't need to give a warning. You put my life in jeopardy, I'm dropping you. One shot. I'm a very good aim.
So their grift is literally showing up at strangers' houses and causing a disturbance. But if anyone were to do it to them, even though they've been invited now, they're going to have to deal with the strangling sniper. We've also heard Dolly admit to how far they'll go to dig up the doxes of people who criticize them. And I don't know whether the Bullhorn Strangler has a concealed carry permit or not. I'm not sure which of her charges actually stuck and which didn't, but what I do know is that she should be on a terrorist watch list for her connection.
What I do know, Menace, after taking a look at the things that this group of people that have been tortured by Betty, literally tortured, their family, their kids, themselves, I feel so bad for these people that Betty has been targeting. Because if you've seen how far Betty, when she loses control all the time, almost daily, it's so sad to hear Betty admit, and Dolly admit, and JLR admit that they'll go after your kids and your elderly grandparents. They'll scare them and threaten them. They'll dox them. They'll stalk them. And it's so sad to think that those kids and those grandparents, their parents don't even know, right? They're finding members of the family that have access to social media. They're DMing them. They make sock accounts. The people that they're doing it to have no concept of the internet or no concept of what's going on. They're children and they're elderly. And when I say elderly people, I'm not comparing elderly people to children. You know this. I'm saying that most elderly people don't have a grasp of the internet. And you know this and I know this. And there are a lot of them that do. There are a lot of them that are like really good at it. But when you just randomly grab one out there, a lot of them still watch cable. They've got Facebook set up because a family member set it up and said, Mom, I want to, Grandma, Mom, I want to contact you. I want to message you. Oh, look at this. I can send you cute pictures. And then they get a person that these people dress up to look like a normal person that starts threatening them. And it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying for these kids and these grandparents. And it's sad that Betty and JLR admit to doing this right out in the open. And Dolly, they can't get mad that people out there feel sympathy for their victims. They've admitted that they have victims. They've admitted that they abuse people in this way. I've played the clips so many times that I don't understand how anybody can challenge me saying this. Right? Can they challenge it? How could they? Right?
Connections with the Proud Boys. And that should be enough to disqualify the woman from obtaining a concealed carry permit until the end of time.
Now you notice how she's walking. I want you to look at how she walks. She has so much hate and so much spite in this person. She wants to make sure that she violates them as much as she can. So she puts her feet on their grass. Most people would make sure that they're stepped back the slightest bit. Because Betty knows if they call the cops and they come in and they try to give her trespass, the cops are going to go, Betty's going to lie. She's that much of a pathological liar. She's going to say, I didn't mean to step on the grass. I was on the sidewalk. First, she's going to say they're lying. If they show video evidence, she's going to claim she didn't mean to. But you know, and I know, she's doing this to spite the people that she's yelling at. And the sad thing is, due to their childish understanding of the justice system and true crime, they don't understand the difference between a charge. They don't understand what innocent until proven guilty is. They don't understand the concept and value of evidence. And they have a spite to violate the people's rights that they're at because they're angry at them. They're mad. In the same way that the corrupted concept of framing Queen Bee as a criminal turned into framing her for murmur, framing her to get murmured. That same concept in their anger, in their jealousy, This is a corrupted thought. We're going to go to the home. We're going to protest. We're going to stream it. We're going to tell people that we deserve money because we're better than the other people that don't go to the home. Because we spent $32 in gas and we stayed in a Roach motel for $48, 2 nights. Slept in our car a couple nights. Just stayed with someone else. Saved as much money as we could. And told our audience that we stayed in a nice place, ate nice food, and spent a lot of money traveling around. We can make a good profit. The grift, the scam. But once they get there, they can't stop themselves. Just like when they dox somebody from pushing the boundary further in a corrupted way. They even will step on the grass instead of just taking one step back to respect what's going on. Right? These little things, these tiny things that give you a window into the anger, to give you a window into the danger, to the damage, to the corruption. And it's funny too, because JLR and Molly love to scream about corrupted politicians. And there are some corrupted politicians in this world. There are politicians in this world that are corrupted well greater than these people are corrupted. But the thing is, they are worse from a degree of corruption standpoint than most of the politicians that they would claim to be corrupted. Those politicians would still respect the rights of people that they're mad at to some extent. Some of them. Now others wouldn't. Where do they fit in the comparison? I'd say they're about midline, but you know.
In my opinion, of course.
Promo discount code when you check out at Trump 2024 swag.
Trump 2024.
Let's do it. White power. Yes.
That was Betty's voice at the end of that clip. I really wish that clip would have went on a little further, but that was her voice saying white, and you know what came after.
And you tell your friend she can kiss my white ass.
It's all about disrespect and fear. And the thing is, when they meet someone like Queen Bee, when there's nothing they can do to scare Queen Bee, when there's nothing they can do to intimidate Queen Bee, they feel that they are an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. But that's not true, because in reality, Queen Bee is the unstoppable force. And well before any of this happened, he completely destroyed the very movable object of Betty and JLR. Why can't Uni do a regular show and not talk about anybody? Damn, a bunch of effing bullies. Well, this is my regular show. So, yeah, I think you're confused. All right. Let me check the chat and then we'll move over. Make sure if you like my show, you support me right there. Ling. Hey, speaking of which, right there at CASHAPP.com, or I'm sorry, Cash App is _UNIROCK or _UNIRACHEL, and then it's PayPal.me/UNIROCK. Now, I haven't even told you about my buddy's free book on Amazon, and I'll get to that in a little bit, okay? Let's see here. Anita, hey, Uni, gunsmith, gun owner. Betty should not have a gun at all. Also saying aim for the head is intent if thought out before something occurs. Definitely. Definitely. These people, that's why Menace made the point in this video. Let us know that you've never fired or owned a gun or been trained in using a gun. Let us know that, you know, without saying it or something. But, you know, whatever his quote was. But obviously they have no clue how to use a gun. They have no clue about gun safety. Everything about them from the ground up is just a complete farce. It's called LARPing. We'll get into that in a little bit because I want to do the more boring stuff in a little bit. Of course. You gotta do the more, impactful stuff at the beginning of the show, so you can get people watching. But then you go into the boring stuff. We're going to go into that. But yeah, Anita, I know. I can tell just off of saying things you've said in my chat. You really do understand gun safety. You really do understand what the weapon is supposed to be used for. The gun. In the military, we call our gun a weapon, but I've been out for a while, so I don't mind doing it, but it does still bother me sometimes. Thank you, though, for the super... Well, let me make sure I got the end of it. Yeah, I got it all. Great stuff. Is JLR holding a Bible? Well, he is a demon. And demons love to put themselves in that position, definitely. Like Betty. Nobody did anything to your Molly. Molly did this to herself and it actually served her right. Well, that's the thing. You have to understand what it means when Betty, LB, Leslie Bass, the Potato Heads, you have to understand they don't understand justice. It's why they think they get justice by screaming and yelling and acting like these bullies and breaking the law and violating rights. They don't understand rights or justice. You got to understand, they don't understand how Molly was served justice through what happened to her. And that's why, see, when they go out and say things like that, what they're not, yeah, they're lying, but they're telling you what their understanding of the situation is. So people like Molly getting banned, and then Betty's reaction, their friend's reaction. The only one of them I can give credit to, ironically, is Dolly, because Dolly at least admitted that Molly got banned for what she deserves to be banned for. But ironically, if he believes that, it's really bad that he admitted that, because if he believes that, then he believes he should be banned, and he believes Betty should be banned, and he believes JLR should be banned. So it's a very weird line. I think that's why they got so mad at Dolly and attacked Dolly so much when Dolly said that. That was the catalyst that caused Dolly to be attacked so badly. Okay. Hey, Kathy, I'm so sorry I upset you. I really wasn't at my peak. I hope you believe me. I love you. I really do think you're doing a great job. I'm sorry that I haven't done more, and I'll try to make up for that in the future, okay? Give me a couple more days to heal up, and I promise I'll make up for my mistakes, okay? I'm sorry. Truly. I'm so glad to see you here. Molly's problem was not a 100K review. There are ways to manage that review. Trans bashing, trouble with a huge company that pays for ads in Google. You make Google lose money and you are out. Exactly. Yeah, and what I was saying about her 100K review is that they would find the deleted clips that Molly had of doxing. Just like if Betty hit 100K, her channel would be banned. JLR hits 100K, his channel's banned. They should be listening to our criticism. They want to frame us as bad guys because we have to tell the truth about them. And they're welcome to do that. I get it. They're very unintelligent. They really don't comprehend what's going on in crime and true crime. And if you can't grasp those kind of like obvious concepts, they're not going to grasp moderate level, because I'm not giving expert level commentary. I very well could. But even moderate level commentary can't be grasped by somebody with a mind like Betty's or JLR's. And it puts them in the position that they get in a lot, right? But great comment, Lisa Rowe. Great comment. It should prove that Molly wasn't singled out, that anyone that does these violent acts on YouTube will be called out. Well, Missouri Country Girl, exactly. Exactly. They were never singled out. They were never falsely flagged. They were never mass reported. A proper flag is not a false flag or a mass report by YouTube's own terms of service. But remember, these are people that think that they haven't violated Betty's own words. I can call to Betty's own words. Betty said what? Betty said, and Betty, I'm wearing my Ohio State hoodie, aren't I? I wore this for you. Take a picture. It'll last longer. But no, yeah, I'm losing that comment. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to hit all the comments. I don't want to ramble. Every jurisdiction is different though. No, I get that. But, and I'm not for strict gun control, but I am for gun control when it comes to violent people. And Betty meets the description of an exceptionally violent individual. If there is a system in place to prevent violent people from having guns, Betty should be one of them. due to what she's done to other people. And not that she should never have a gun. The fact that she has not treated her anger problem, she's not treated her delusions of schizophrenia and her delusions of these things that aren't there with these. They take a creator that is just giving an opinion. Navy said it perfectly last night. I wish he was here, but he's at work. Navy said, Navy was talking about, oh man, I'm losing it again, guys. I'm losing it again. I need a nice, strong cup of coffee, and it'll put me on point. But Navy said it perfectly last night. Let me reread it, and it'll come back to me. They don't understand common sense. It's the perfect example of who hound to be alone to carry MIO. Spears, I lost her in October, and it's sad to say, but I feel freedom, even though we had a great relationship, a lot of mind games. Cricket says, I'm back, change of plans. Hubby took the checkbook. Yes, I'm old enough to still love my checkbook. Oh, man. I used to love checkbooks, but I was so bad with them. I just think it's, you know, I'm just not good with checkbooks, but I could see how they work so much better than a card because it makes you track every single thing, right? It makes you more responsible for what you spend, is what I'm saying, right? Anita says, even in a constitutional carry state, people in those states are very careful and respect the pew-pew. Exactly. And the things that Molly and Betty said about weapons, about guns, about their enemies, inviting them to show up, bringing up weapons, it shows that they are very irresponsible at the very least. I think they're malicious, but they're in the very least irresponsible. But definitely they have no comprehension of gun control, of gun safety, of gun cleaning, let alone nothing. They have no idea about any of this. They're keyboard warriors. They carry a keyboard on their holster, so why would they ever understand a gun, right? Chronicles of the Shady, he has multiple AdSense or would be gone by now. And I'm telling you right now, listen to me closely. You are not allowed to have multiple AdSense accounts. They will delete you. This is a fact. If you take tricks to have multiple AdSense accounts, or if you improperly use your AdSense account, you will be deleted right away and not allowed to have another one. That is a fact. B Tim, is that you, B Tim? Is that the B Tim? Let me know, dude. #1 fan, if I'm going to shoot at someone, I'm going to aim for the chest because it's a larger area. Exactly. See what I'm saying? Center mass, right? The concept that you're talking about is something that we're trained in the military to do, which is called center mass. That's, of course, not when you're extremely close to somebody else, but center mass is to make sure that, because the whole point is what? Not to kill somebody, ever. What is it? What is the point? What are you doing? You're neutralizing a threat. You're neutralizing the threat. They could drop their weapon. They could lay down their weapon and run away. Right? You never want to shoot them if that's happening. The amount of training that I've had is so programmed in my mind that if I start going down this path, I will ramble and ramble and ramble. I've done so many room clearing. I've done so many ranges. I've done so many like grenade throws and stuff like that, and tested and operated, cleaned so many weapons. But of course, that's what you have to do when you're in the military. So I miss it. Amberly says, you're having it rough, rockAlot. I think you're doing great. Well, thank you. No, I really do. Listen to me. When you guys encourage me like that, even if I don't all the time see it, or if I don't recognize it, I still like it. It keeps me going. So thank you, Amberly, and everyone else. Kathy P says, Uni, all thank you. Oh my gosh, my chat just skipped. Hold on. Stop. I want to find it. Damn it. My chat, so I'll put the chat over here. My chat will skip because everyone's typing. It's fine. Keep typing. Oh, but here it is. Here it is. Okay. Dang it, man. I know I just read Kathy P's thing. Hard for me to see. the screen here. All right, here we go. Oh, I'll thank you. I'm sorry as well. It's all good. Oh no, don't apologize. Listen. I need you to go at me when I'm losing track, because it keeps me on track. Because if you're feeling that way, other people are too, right? And yeah, no, thank you so much. Thank you so much. If they were singled out and did nothing, there's no issue. Their own problems with behaviors they do. And Kathy, there it is. I do not fear Team YouTube looking at this channel, or UNIROCK 2, or UNIRocktv. I communicate with YouTube through the beta program all the time to test their upcoming features. And that's proven. You can go back and there's still a video on YouTube somewhere where I was debunking this conspiracy idiot and proving that his little conspiracy theory was just a lie. And he noticed that I just got my member button across all of YouTube, because it used to only be there for gaming, because there were two apps, YouTube Gaming and YouTube. Okay. So I was in the pool of having the first gaming member buttons, but then YouTube sent out to all of us that are in their testing programs, do you want to test the member button? If your channel is in a good standing and we've checked your channel and everything's good, do you want to test the member button across all of YouTube? You have to be in a good standing with them. They have to have checked your channel extensively in order for you to test the beta programs. And you can still find those people that are complaining about how I'm a YouTube shill because I'm testing their beta program and I'm, in YouTube's beta pool. So anyway, I bring that up because they want to sit there and say things like, you're just as bad as Betty. You're just as bad as Molly, because they're pathological liars. If I was just as bad as Betty, y'all would have clip after clip after clip, or even just a single clip of me doing anything. There's always a reason that these people don't pull clips. They will pull clips. They love pulling clips. Hey, Kat, thank you. Make sure you sub to UNIROCK too, and go to kick.com/UNIROCK. I have no clue how or why, but we're already partnered there. We are already, a paid creator on Kick. Thank you, Kick. And I don't know how, but there's so many awesome creators. When you're streaming over there, and when they go offline, they come over and talk with you, and they host your channel and stuff. And it's just really, like, I'm not talking about the platform. Like, I don't know what will happen with Kick as a platform. But I will tell you right now that when it comes to Kick as a community, the people there for commentary, at least, and the gaming peeps I've met are very nice people. Okay? And that's why I like Kick. It's because of their community more than anything. But back to what I was saying. Yes, Betty does need serious help. I've made this suggestion to her for a long time. It was an empathetic, a very caring suggestion to her. Like, your life will get better. You won't have to be this person under the thumb of your past mistakes. Like Burnt Toast proved that Betty had done that thing where she betrayed her own U.S. citizens, her fellow U.S. citizens, by selling out their details to this mortgage company that was trying to basically, sell homes and profit illegally and improperly off of how they did it. And Betty was the ones that faked the government documents and stuff, and she admitted it to it in emails and all this garbage. And Betty is ashamed of that, and it's why she lies about it. I think if Betty goes to get therapy, and Molly too, and they actually talk to a therapist that lets them know, like, listen, here's what the beauty, here is the phrase, I don't know what word to use, of actually learning from those mistakes, owning them as a mistake you've made, building your character better from it by learning not to do anything like that again at the base level. What was it that led you to fake those documents and betray your country? Right? Okay. It was that I was a pathological liar. It was that I was trying to do anything to make money. It was that I was very leadable. Like, other people could lead me into these situations and I wouldn't say no. you fix those base problems. And once you do, you stop being ashamed of the mistakes you've made in the past. They don't know this. It is foreign to them. All of you have made mistakes. I've made more mistakes than most of you probably. And I'm paying for it right now, y'all. Like, I got health problems. I have destroyed my body and my life. I was the most insane, like, stunt guy, jumping out of helicopters, rappelling and spelunking into caves, even before the military, you know, going through the military, some of the most stringent and hard military training that's out there, the air assault badge and the other training I did. I've destroyed my body and I'm paying for it now. And I'm only like, you know, not that old. I'm not even old, right? And even in that same sense, being addicted to pain pills back in the 2000 era there, late 2000s, when I ended up getting off of them, you know, been clean for over 10 years. So I talk about it a lot. But anyway, these things, people come to me and they're like, would you change that? Would you change that about your life? And I've thought about it a lot. And the answer is no. Imagine that if I do have an addictive personality. It's probably one of the things that makes me able to learn everything on a computer like I do. Because when I look at code, because I do know how to code computers in HTML and Visual Basic 6 and C++ and all that. I use every operating system that's available, you know, and I know how to pick it up super fast. And it's probably due to my addictive personality. But imagine that I didn't go through that hurdle in my past of learning that I can't take those kind of medications, any kind of mind-altering medication. I could slip up now and lose everything I've made on YouTube due to the influence of my addicted behavior. Discovering, like the pain I'm in right now, I could have went to the doctor and got painkillers for it and been addicted now, and it could have ruined my YouTube. So I don't regret. Do I regret? Yes. Would I change it? No. Right? That's the concept that I don't think Betty and JLR understand. I think they're very ashamed because I bet Betty hasn't apologized to those people that she attacked. She hasn't apologized for knocking those people's teeth loose. Thank you, Michelle. She hasn't probably made peace with the people that she victimized. And it's probably led her to not address the motivational mistakes in her personality that keeps leading her there. For the intentional, and maybe not motivation, the things that motivate her. You know what I'm saying? I'm losing it, but you know what I'm saying? Okay, I got it. I'm going to have to skip some of the chat. I'm sorry. Let me start here at the bottom, go up a little bit, and then we're going to get back into it, okay? I just wanted to hit the chat. But if you guys do want to support me, or if you have the a capability to support me, just consider doing it. It's been a hard week, guys. I appreciate any of you that do. I'll check to see if we have any donos right after this and see if anyone wants me to read anything. Now, you guys know that if you donate to me on Cash App or PayPal, you have to put your username and then tell me what you want to say if you want me to read it. Because if you don't do that, I'm just going to read it to myself, okay? Because I know a lot of you just want to say something privately. Is why I do that. Thank you, Grace Green. Will do. Appreciate you very much. Anita says, I'm okay. My dad-in-law passed at 2:05 Monday after 10 days of hell. Oh, I'm so sorry, Anita. Really, really, really am. Horrible. That's why I've been gone. He was catatonic coma and would have come out of it called a rally cry, then coma. Oh, Lord. My grandfather went through a very similar thing a couple years ago. Can't remember. But it was a few years ago. My grandmother just went through something like that about a year ago. So I can completely sympathize with you. And I hope if you need anything, reach out, okay? Reach out if you need anything. And don't ever apologize for being gone. A lot of, like, I know that, like, Molly and Betty and them, they track their people, right? And they try to motivate them to give as much money as possible, and that because of that, they want to check in on them all the time. I don't check in on everybody all the time, not because I don't care, but because I want you to have freedom and I don't want you to feel that you have to come here. I don't want you to feel that you have to donate to be subscribed. There might be a topic I'm going to hit for a month that you don't like, and when I do a different topic, you might be back, and I respect that completely because I do that. That's how I watch my YouTubers. I don't have their delusional idea of YouTube, right? I think if they lost that delusional idea of YouTube, not only would it be less doxy for them, they wouldn't dox as much, but I think if they lost that concept of YouTube and embraced a more freedom-based concept, because Betty is about control and about force. She is not about freedom. Nothing she does is on the baseline of freedom. Every decision I make here is based around that baseline of freedom. And if she did embrace that, I think a lot of her problems would start to resolve, because once you get to that baseline, once you start to realize how you're trying to motivate, influence, or control another person, even if it's in subtle ways, even if it's through words, and you start to realize, like, that's not me living by the basis of freedom and the basis of respect that I want to. And by the way, there's a lot of people out there that don't want to live by those baselines, and they have the freedom to do that, right? The thing about Betty, she doesn't realize, and Molly and JLR, that they are victimizing people in the way that they manipulate them for money, in the way that they lie about being reporters, in the way that they lie about their qualifications, lie about the outcome of their behavior on their channels. This is a scam. It's a grift. They do know it. Again, and a lot of you will say they don't know it because they have no shame, and I do agree that on a conscious level, they may not know it because they have no shame, but at an unconscious level, I don't think they can control that. And I do think it haunts them more behind their mind or in their subconscious, right? See how my chat just skipped? This is why even when I'm looking at the chat, sometimes I miss what you guys say. So I always tell you, never be afraid to repeat what you're saying. Even if you're criticizing me or mad at me or something, repeat it in the chat, okay? Because when I'm not looking at the chat, I'm only going to see the tags sometimes. And when I am looking at the chat, it might skip on me because it does it a lot. And I can't, there's no way to change it because it's because people are typing. I want you to type. Okay. My son 11 has a stroke and was in a coma. We didn't think he would survive. He did, but he's partially paralyzed and life has just changed so much and it's so hard. Army wife, I'm so sorry. And again, just like Anita, reach out if you need anything. Especially if it's, you know, you need like a fundraiser or something, the community could help. But even if you just need any other, like to talk or something or whatever, but I do understand. I do understand how it can change life because we had to prepare. Because of what happened in my family, we had to prepare for those kind of outcomes. So I have no way to know what you're going through, but I do sympathize a lot. I'm so sorry. He would call every night at 8 p.m. I keep forgetting, and I wait for his call. Yeah, my grandmother, every single holiday, my entire life, it didn't matter where I was. It didn't matter what I was doing. She would call me early, you know. I do that too. I do that all the time. Molly has said she had a brain tumor now. Nick, hey buddy, yeah, we're about to play it. We're about to get into it. Molly is next up. I'm politically progressive, leftist as they come. That said, I always appreciate and value your integrity standing up against bullies and your Navy's service to our country. Jessica, I get that, and I respect. I have a lot of friends that are left, that are liberal, and I have a lot of friends that are conservative and all that. Anyone that just takes away their access to the other side loses so much perspective, and I think it leads to a lot. I think, in my opinion, that's what leads to extremism, but I won't go into that because it would be a big speech that would scare a lot of you away. But I respect people in my country that have those opposing opinions and thoughts. And I hope to just communicate with them why I think what I think, and I want them to tell me why they think what they think constantly, because then we always can figure out what's right and what's not. Now, I don't know what I am. People call me a conservative all the time. People say I'm right-wing. I don't think I'm either of those things. Some people in the past have called me a liberal and left-wing. I do not think I'm that. I was approached. I actually participated in a podcast where they were talking about libertarian things, because these guys told me, dude, you're a libertarian. Like, after talking to you, we know you're a libertarian, but I don't really think I'm a libertarian. I'm just an independent. I'm someone that I judge every topic on the basis of that topic and come to my own conclusion of what's right and what's not. You know, that's where I'm at. Anytime, Army Wife, anytime. Okay, and I mean it too. Mean it. Isn't it strange how life changes? But here's the thing. I don't usually talk religion. Count down 20 seconds for me. I used to be an atheist for many years, from the age of 15 until, I was probably 20 years an atheist. And I'm not now. Well, probably about 15 years an atheist. And I'm not now. And I'm a full-on believer. But I'm not a believer because of any magical thing or a life thing. I'm a believer because logically, it's very easy to see why people do believe and why people are believers, right? Anyway, regardless, thank you. Thank you so much, okay? Really appreciate you. But I, now being a believer, do believe that we are one. This is my belief. I respect yours, even if you're an atheist, but I believe we're judged when we die. But I also believe that our family members and others are in the next life. And I do believe that things are right way, if you feel me. Okay, I'm done. Now, I brought that up really quick, and I respect anyone else's religion. I respect your right to religion. I've studied every religion I could find in the world. And it's so comforting now that I've come to that conclusion and I've seen the evidence, even though the evidence is based in belief. I've seen the evidence, and it really does make me, instead of having a fear because they're gone, I have a happiness. Like I have a, I think you know what I'm talking about, right? I have a hope now that they've passed. Like, I know that they're released from the anguish, and they're most likely at the peak. That they're at their peak. They're at their summit. They're at the top of the mountain, right? So yeah. Now, Nick just brought it up. He said something very important, that Molly has a brain tumor now. And if Molly does have a brain tumor, just like I've said the entire time I've covered this story, I would never wish that on anybody. I don't celebrate that. Never would. And I sympathize with her for experiencing these things. Very much hope she gets better. I would never want it to get worse. Though, I really hope she's not lying. I really hope she's not. Actually, if she is lying, it would mean she's not going through it, right? What I mean is, I hope she doesn't have it. I really do hope she doesn't have it. But at the same time, I hope that she isn't intentionally doing this because of what's going on anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next. Grief. Yes, grief is very hard. Even regardless of what you believe, it's very hard. It takes you down paths in your mind that are just so painful, But it does make you stronger, I think. I really do think it does. In fact, we are people that we respect the dead, and we feel empathy for people that have been through tragedies. And it's why we've been covering the tragedy pimping. It's why we've been giving our opinion on how Dolly Vision will mix sex and disgustingness and being a complete and total asshole and just idiot, while mixing that with someone experiencing a tragedy and reporting on these things that happen. And it's why we have a disrespect and a disdain for people that do that. Go over to Molly, where they almost get excited when somebody's been murmured because they can make money for it, and then they get mad if it gets solved because they can't make money now, and then they get angry and they do these things, and they get jealous when the murmur gets attention. Imagine all the things that we've reported and been through on this show, on this us watching this, and then say to yourself, how in the world could somebody think that us covering this is some kind of abnormal thing or something, right? This is like probably right up there with, if I would have known about these people doing this a couple years ago, I would have covered it a couple years ago. Like, it really does blow my mind the way that people act about us covering this. And I think that a lot of them are sock accounts. A doctor did not tell her that. Her subs did. Yeah, Army wife. Yeah. I almost didn't make it when my son went through what he did. I almost didn't make it. Yeah. So reach out anytime. And if you ever get even the slightest thing with depression that's not getting better, immediately go in and talk to your doctor, because they will help you. Okay, fine. I don't like taking any medication. I didn't want to say this, but I don't like taking any medicine that I don't have to take. So I stopped taking an antidepressant a long time ago because it was really making my head fuzzy. And it was really just working too much, okay? Now, I was going through some really hard stuff at the time. So when things got better, I went to the doctor and I told him, I'm gonna stop taking this. And they said, okay, you're doing better. That's fine. And they kept all my other medications the way they were. I'm not going to tell you what medication it is, but it's just a kind of antidepressant kind of thing. Now, when my son had his accident, right, his tragedy, I ended up going back to the doctor, and I told him, I can't. I don't know what to do. And they suggested me taking that medication again. And it took a few months, but things weren't better after a few months at all. But I could cope with everything a lot better after that medicine started to work, you know? Now, I'm not saying they'll give you a medicine. I'm just saying they can help you. They can if you ever get there. And just talking to other people would help. So if you ever want to talk, just let us know, okay? We always have a mod around, and my husband is struggling really bad. He has his PTSD, and then all of this, it's hard. I can relate. I can relate. I was treated in the PTSD clinic for 5 years. So I can relate. I know that amplifies everything. Yeah, if your husband needs to talk, have him join Discord. I don't know what we can do, but we'll do what we can, right? We'll just talk. We'll just hang out. We'll just shoot the shit. Tell him to go to the VA. Tell him, through my experience, I know that when I went and told, I had to let the doctors take the wheel. They had to take the wheel. I couldn't fight them. The minute I fought them, everything got worse. When they took the wheel, everything got better, That's very true with PTSD, in my opinion. That's my opinion. All right. Okay, so we hit the chat, and I really do like seeing, and you guys, Anita, Army wife, I really, really love seeing you, okay? And never feel like you got to jump in, especially with what you're dealing with. But if you need anything, reach out to me, all right? We're going to move on now to the second part of what we're talking about, but we will have to jump back to old Betty right after we do. We're going to talk about Molly and her tumor. sorry, I had to run and grab a drink, and I was trying to share my link in the chat while I did it, and I messed it up, so let me share it again. Okay, if you want to support our show, before we go to the next segment, I have to do this. I apologize for anyone that's, you know, going to get mad about it, but I got to do it. There are several ways you can support our show completely free. Completely free. You can go down into the description. My friend wrote a book, and he's gotten lucky because you guys went and supported his book, and Amazon and his publisher. I don't know how. I don't know why. But Amazon and his publisher, due to the attention that his book got, let him make it free. Let me check it to make sure that it's still free, because I don't want to lie to you, because it was free yesterday. Yes, it is absolutely free. Now, what you do is you click here and you'll download it for free. And there's an app you can put on any device, your phone, your computer, your tablet, the Kindle app. And they give you a lot of free books on Kindle, by the way, from like really good ones, like even historical ones that you might want to catch up on that you haven't seen in a while. Either way, though, the Kindle app will let you have that book completely for free, just like the others that are free on the Kindle app. It's called Greedy as a Ghoul, and it's a prequel to his novel. And he did get picked up for his novel. It'll be releasing soon. Great guy, Army vet. He's doing really good. Here's what it says, because I've never read this to you. Fantasy lovers that enjoy short stories will find this one to be an absolute treat. Greedy as a Ghoul is a prequel to a short story to Casey Sutton's upcoming full-length fantasy novel, Malphus, Necromancer Unchained. So if you think that this would be interesting to you, if you go check that out, it supports us massively, okay? For free. It's just completely free, and it supports us. Also, of course, you can like and subscribe and share, not just here, but to kick.com/UNIROCK. It just popped up over there. We are going to be doing a lot of extra streaming over on my daily admission fee for your live, says Booty. Thank you, but you know you never have to pay around here, but I love it. Thank you. Love it that you do. Was I kick.com/UNIROCK is where we're going to give you a lot of extra content. We talked a lot about Betty, Molly, and some other things that were going on over on Kick yesterday. In fact, we didn't even get to game that long. I didn't even get to play my game for that long because we were talking about a lot of the stuff that I'm bringing over here right now to this stream. Kick.com/UNIROCK. Follow me on TikTok at UNIRocktv, because if we hit 1,000, I'll be streaming there every night. And Instagram, my link is, I think it's UNIROCKlive, but you can find it in the About section, just like all my links are there. And of course, if you want to support us with a super chat like Booty just did, or with paypal.me/UNIROCK or $UNIROCK, you are more than welcome to. And I appreciate all of you that do very much, because it really does help. Now, I've done my shilling at the 1 hour and 45-minute mark, and now we're going to move in. Finish this stream out with a little bit of Molly and then a little bit of Betty. Now, before we do anything, Menace has done such a good job. Menace to Sobriety, addressing, wow, he's almost 4,000 views, addressing the claim that Molly was mass reported. Now, you're going to think that this is beating a dead horse. It's not. Because, again, I've had some time to really think about what these dingbats... Oh, let me ask my mods. Do we have the clip of you know who on B? If not, it's fine. I'll grab it for next stream, but if you know where it is, drop it here for me. Okay. So this mass reporting thing, we need to bring it up really quick because I want to make a point. Molly was banned. And way more than enough time for Betty and Molly and Laura and all these potato heads and all these people to come out and say that she was mass reported. The entire community has responded for days in such a crazy way on Twitter, on YouTube, in the comments, in the live chats, even when that they jumped on Queen Bee's panel, and they have told these people that they are lying. Have you seen any of them go back to their channels and address a single solitary piece of evidence that they were given? No. Isn't that what they accuse us of? Lying or not telling the truth, or right? Why is it that they have been handed YouTube's own policies, their own statements, their own rules, their own instructions, showing that none of these people have been mass reported, false reported, or any of these things they're claiming? Yet, instead of going back to their channels and explaining how, with that evidence existing, Molly could have still been mass reported, or they're still telling the truth in some way, they didn't even bother to address it. They're just still telling everybody that we mass reported. Now, this is what they've done to me in the past. Okay? Remember when Queen Bee asked me about one of the potato heads? She says you're going to stab everybody in the back, Uni, and all this, right? And I said, no, Queen, I'm glad you asked, Queen Bee. Of course I'm glad Queen Bee asked. But where's my damn viewer count? Did I turn it off over here? Let me see if I can. That's UNIRock too. Oh, that's UNIRock too. Hold on, let me find it. When it was brought up on Queen Bee's panel, when I was on Queen Bee's panel, and she brought up how these people would, they claim that he's coming on your show. Oh, he's going to stab you in the back, and he's going to yada, yada, yada. And I responded, and I said, this is what they have done to me ever since I busted their fraud raisers. Ever since I proved that they... Bottomagen, thank you. Thank you, Cherie. You're too good to me. Thank you. Ever since I had busted fraud raisers that that person, that Elmo KC had been a part of, had been sharing, had been defending, and had been lying about, and I busted her fraud raisers after I busted her friends' fraud raisers, after I exposed them for doxing and lying and attacking and just not being honest, breaking TOS, all those things. She has started following me around, trying to convince anyone she can, anywhere that I'm mentioned, even when I was mentioned in Burnt Toast's comments section, her community post that had nothing to do with me, they go in and type UNIRock and some lie. That is what they're trying to do right here. You are watching them attempt to lay the groundwork to create a lie about what happened to Molly, so that in the future, even if you show evidence against it, in the future, they could build on these original stones of lies, the original foundation of lies that they're doing. And in the future, they're gonna keep building and keep building until they have a narrative built that protects Molly. But you guys finally showed them that you're done with it. Every time they've tried to spread this narrative, you've went there and dropped the facts there. So I'm going to bring this up again, but I want you to imagine all the past lies, all the past narratives, not just Betty, not just Molly, not just JLR, not just the people they employ, the potato heads, these other people, Laura. Imagine the lies they've told you in the past that they built into narratives, because you're watching their process, and it's a disgusting process of defamation, of constant lies, constantly acknowledging the evidence and ignoring it and continuing to lie. Why should they ever be listened to again? Why should they ever be respected again? Let's take a look at some stuff here. First off, let's debunk their entire bullshit right now, and then listen to what happened on Queen Bee's panel before I have to log off, because I need to go to the store and get some vape and get some coffee. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Bust those myths, baby. Bust those myths, baby. Thank you. Thank
We're
you
gonna
so
debunk
much.
a potato patch pork.
I love you. I appreciate you. You know who I'm talking to. Thank you. Let me zoom in on this and give you guys menace to sobriety. Make sure you're subbed there. Mods, drop his link. This is my bro. Me and him have gone in on Tarkov, and we have had to shoot many people in a video game to watch each other's backs, and we have sometimes we shot each other on accident, but it was pretty fun.
Porky. This myth has been their main talking point since Molly's channel went down like the Titanic. And that is that we, you and I, managed to get Molly's channel terminated by way of mass flagging.
What they decided to do was mass flag Molly's channel, which is in itself against TOS.
This wasn't one day of mass reporting. This was weeks of it. Weeks.
So this is just a group of creators that I had put together that had mass flagged Molly. By the way, Heels in the Air is the one that is in charge of mass reporting on Twitter.
And these things that this person was listing on Perplex channel there, like none of these are TOS related. How does this excuse her being mass reported?
Calling for a mass flag. Mass flag somebody's channel. It's against TOS to take a certain channel and constantly go after them without rotation. Like, that's harassment. That's stalking at this point. Right there with all of them talking about mass flagging Molly on Twitter. And I really think that the mass flagging Molly or whatever is in revenge.
And I have to thank Burnt Toast so much, you know. Like, I know Burnt Toast basically played Betty, threatening to dox me, and she said something to the effect of, "You're going to try to dox a veteran, huh? Okay. No, go ahead and give that a try, Betty." But I really appreciate that she just, you know, that she played that she called Betty out, you know. I just, a lot of people have a stigma against me. And what it is they'll go out and look at the internet, and they don't want to give any time to looking at what I've actually done on the internet. Instead, they want to listen to what they can find and scan it, and they'll go, you know, they'll see all these caters that are just pathological liars saying all this garbage about me. Then other people, like there was even someone in my chat earlier saying, "You do the same thing Betty does," or some shit, when I've never done anything that Betty's done. When you encounter a pathological liar or a hypocrite, especially a hypocrite, when you believe them and listen to them, that's the definition of you being fooled. That's the definition of you being conned and being scammed. Scams don't just have to have money, right? The scams could be setting up a narrative or a situation so that someone will look at you as the good guy when really you're not the good guy. That could be the scam. And thus why you have to, in my opinion, actually not make up your mind off these random things that are out there. That's what they do, and that's what they manipulate. It's what they've used. That's how Molly built what she got. Molly's 80,000 subs, Olivia's large amount of subs, 10 to life subs, they got that through this kind of thing, okay? They didn't do it by doing anything real or anything meaningful. They did it literally by manipulating masses of people that were easily manipulatable.
I think that is calling for a mass flag.
Oh, she's not making that much on Kick at all, no.
And people want to bring up...
So I want you to know, do you see any of these people explaining why? Do you see any of them proving it? Do you see any of them grabbing the clips? Because they've been told to say this. Molly told them to say this. Leslie Bass, right there. Do you really think that she saw the massive amount of evidence that's out there that everybody's showing? Because you know she's seen it. You know she's seen it. And do you really think Leslie Bass looked at all the YouTube rules and all the things out there and all the things people have tagged her with and all the things that she has responded to, showing that she knows YouTube's terms of service, she knows their rules? And do you think that by her own volition, she just decided to sit down and lie? Just her own decision, her own volition. Instead of me pulling up the stuff that everyone's showing, I'm going to intentionally hide that and just say that it was mass flagging. You think she did that on her own? You really think that she just said, fuck it, I'm going to lie for Molly? No, of course not. And again, I always do one step more than what I think I should do. And I always tell you, I'm not just going to show you these people lying to you, trying to scam you. They are. I'm going to also ask you to think about why they did it. Think about the intention. Because this is a person that looks at all of you. They know that you're people. They know that you're real people. They know that you give your money to people. The money that you earn. That you're good enough people to say, I like what I'm seeing and I'm going to support it a little bit. Because that's a kind thing. That's a supportive thing. It's a positive thing. And they're going to look at you and say, I don't respect you enough to even show you what the truth is or what the source of the information is. I'm just going to hide that from you intentionally and lie because it benefits this woman that I'm indebted to, that I'm involved with. Now, Leslie Bass sat next to Molly. She knew Molly had access to Marvon's fundraiser accounts. She could have come out and told us all that months and months and months back, but she intentionally withheld it so that Molly could do what she did. I don't even know how LB sleeps at night with the things she's done. The channel that she has. How do you enjoy going to a YouTube channel that you've built literally with lies, manipulation, deceptive behavior, e-begging? And then if you look at her, she will still sit there and act. She'll cry. She will put on some fake waterworks and try to gain sympathy, manipulating her audience. When she gets, because like, remember, I came back from the DAV. I told you they told me to sue her. What did she say I did? Bullied her. She didn't bully me. Oh no, she didn't, do anything wrong. But she's better than us. According to her, she has different rules than we do. This woman thinks that she and her friends have different rules than everyone else. They're special. How is that not the definition of entitlement?
Today or whatever, why she was mass reported, but this had to been multiple reports, whatever. This had to be an ongoing onslaught.
An ongoing onslaught. It couldn't have just been her being reported when she doxed people. Like, do you hear yourself? And again, why is there no detail on your face? Why do you have an Instagram filter going through your phone, put up there real high, looking down on you, taking what you really look like and changing it for everyone? If I was a mean person, I would show your interview on CNN, show everybody what you really look like, because you're just a ball of deceit.
That's what this means. And that's what this was. And why?
Will do, Marie. And I always do try with my mods. I always do. They are people, If my mods make a mistake, I talk to them, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate that. Thank you for the criticism. Yeah, CNN. You guys never saw her on CNN? Do you know she's a vicious doxer? You know she's a vicious doxer, right? Oh, Rebel, I know. They don't disrespect people. They try so hard. They really do. They get so upset if they do something and it upsets people. They really care about you guys. We're about to show her on panel against my better judgment, against my better logic here. Because I know she's a purposeful troll. I know what she is. I know what she's doing. She knows she's lying. She just doesn't give a shit about anybody else enough to care. She knows she's lying to try and profit and gain from it. She misses being someone that people watch on YouTube. She can barely break, any viewership whatsoever. I promised her that would happen if she lied to her audience repeatedly, and it happened. And she hates me for being able to predict the downfall of her channel or downfall of what she's doing. And instead of actually trying to do the right thing, because the right thing takes years of work to prove to the audience that you actually can do what you do, she doesn't want to put that kind of time and effort into it. She's trying to ally with these other people to get a boost instead of doing it like everyone else. So she went on CNN to basically brag about how she would dress up as a member of a group, go in and pretend as if she was like a mod and a friend to those people. And really, she was kind of trying to rat them out and turn them in and get them banned and all this stuff. So she did this and bragged about doing it, thinking that the entire internet would look at her and say, wow, you're cool. But instead, they all looked at her and was like, so you're basically being a liar to go in and, you know, deceive people and just then try to act like you're better than everybody for running around doing what you did. And I think she was doing it for like to squash anti-vaxxers or something. She wanted to get anti-vaxxers banned. She's so against speech. She's against free speech. So no. Oh, Marie, I know. Oh, Marie, no. But I might have said criticism, but it was a good point, right? It might not have been a criticism, but it was a good thing to keep in mind, right? I was just taking it as one because it was a good one. I know you didn't really mean it that way, but no, thank you though. Misha says, we mods really want you to feel safe, have fun, and maybe think in new ways on rockAlot. We also have our own opinions and we'll share them. Very much so, very much. Crispy! Hey, I wonder where you've been, Crispy. I hadn't seen you yet today. Okay, let me get back into the flow here really quick, because again, what I want you to keep in mind for this stream isn't just the obvious. I want you to think a little deeper to the intent. These people make up their mind about what they want you to think and how they want to fool you. They go into a group and discuss how they can fool you by using each other. If multiple people of us that most people don't think that we're allied together go out and give the same thing, people out there are going to believe that we've went and made all of the checks. We've went and fact-checked everything. And that's why these people, they try to act like they're barely involved with each other, when in reality, they plot and plan and execute this for the person leading them. And they've always done that. Everywhere LB, Leslie Bass, these potato heads, other people, when everywhere they show up, they're usually following the same people that they hate, and they're usually going in and they appear and they go around and try to pretend I'm just an independent voice and here's my independent opinion, because they're lying. They're spreading the opinion they were told to spread. This is why they won't show the evidence. This is why they won't address YouTube's actual terms of service that we have shown you. If they were right, they could pull those terms of service and explain how it's mass flagging. They won't, because they know it's not. So then ask yourself, why are these people saying this then? Why are they saying this? If you know for a fact, you can go and see the proof. Why are they all lying together? Obviously, number one, they don't respect their audience or you at all, or the community. Number two, it's to help their friend. It's to profit. Because if their friend profits, they profit.
This myth has been their main talking point since Molly's channel went down like the Titanic. And that is that we, you and I, managed to get Molly's channel terminated by way of mass flagging.
What they decided to do was mass flag Molly's channel, which is in itself against TOS.
This was...
You know what I'm saying? They just say it. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. Doesn't matter if they can prove it. They'll ignore every bit of evidence so they can say the opposite of reality.
One day of mass reporting. This was weeks of it. Weeks.
So this is...
Also, I'm not going to pull it up right now, but the community has gone in and checked their Twitters, their channels, going back years. They have been mass reporting people the way they say that, other people mass report, but they've actually been doing it for years. These exact people that you're going to see saying this are hypocrites, liars. They are conning you. It's because it's the narrative their simp lord wants them to use. Exactly, Hope. They were told to say this. They got together in a meeting. I told you when the meeting happened. I came in and said, hey, they all got together and talked, because there were people in that meeting that weren't still allied to them who went out and told people about it. And we laughed at them for it. We predicted they were going to do this. You can go back in my streams, weeks and weeks and weeks, or months even. Multiple streams I told you, Molly's going to get banned in exactly 6 to 8 months. And then they're going to try to say that we, improperly got her banned. They're going to blame us. My exact words, they're going to blame me. And I'll be damned. Have they not been blaming me? Have they not been blaming me? They can't put the blame on themselves when it's their fault. And it's not just Molly's fault. It is not just Molly's fault. It is their fault. LB, Leslie Bass, you are to blame for Molly being banned. It's why you're blaming me. Thank you, Kat. You are the one that did it by supporting her breaking TOS, lying when she broke TOS, ignoring it when I told you to criticize Molly months and months and months ago. I'd constantly tell LB, criticize Molly for doing this. Get up there and criticize her for doing this. She would never do it. Why did I tell you to do that, LB? Because if you would have done it, maybe she would have stopped. If she heard it from you. You co-signed it. You lied for her. You ignored her doing it. That psycho, LB, Leslie Bass, even reported other people doxing and complained about doxing from another topic while ignoring Molly's doxing. Rampant, constant doxing. Because she's just a simp. LB has never gained her subs through content. It's always been to go find a creator, a dirty one, that she can say, what do you want me to do for you? And then she will suck up to that person, and that person will toss her some subs. That's how she's built her channel. She's just another Molly. She's just another Molly and Betty. She's just a little better at lying than they are. That's it. She's not a lot better than lying, or else she would have got away with it. But she's a little better lying than Molly and Betty. The potato heads that you're going to see in this video, and you'll know who they are just by looking at them, they use filters to try to make themselves look prettier or something. I don't know why. They don't have to. They shouldn't be ashamed of how they look. They shouldn't feel shame. They shouldn't feel bad about how they look. But they run their stream through Snapchat or Instagram to apply a filter. And that's what makes their head look like a potato. It's no joke. They've talked about this in the past.
This is just a group of creators that I had put together that had mass flagged Molly.
I mean, this is how dumb these people are. You have to remember, she believes what she's saying. She believes it. She's not smart enough to actually look at the TOS. She's not smart enough to figure it out. She really isn't. And it's not that hard. So that should tell you something.
By the way, Heels in the Air is the one that is in charge of mass reporting on Twitter.
No one's in charge of anything here. I don't talk to them. What do you mean? I talk to Navy. But I don't. Let me see if I've talked to any of these people. 6 Up Media, never talked to him. Chronicles of the Shady, never talked to him. Now, they've been in my chat, but that's not me talking to him. That's broadcasted me live doing your show and talking. Heels in the Air, never talked to her. Queen Bee, been on her panel, but I've never talked to her off panel. Never even seen Curious AF. There's me. Nonsense. Have not talked to her other than on my... No, I talked to her in Discord one time. That was recently. That was just a month ago or something. Maybe you guys will have to tell me when it was, because I told you about it. And I talked to her in Discord because she was going to come on the show, and then she came on the show. So we were very transparent about it. Nunya, nonsense mod. I have talked to her a couple times in Discord, yes, but never did any mass flagging come up. We were too busy talking about them doxing other people. Down the rabbit hole. Did I go on her show? You'll have to tell me. Did I go on her show? I kind of think I might have. You'll have to tell me in the chat. It's been a while. Pork Chop. I don't even think I've ever talked to Pork Chop, and she's a member of the Discord. I love Pork Chop's Twitter account, but I don't know. You have to tell me. Butthurt Betty 420. Don't know. Navy. Of course I talked to him. He's a co-host here. Kathy P. I believe Kathy P's talked to me in Discord, but I don't think so. Either way, I love Kathy P. I support Kathy P. So no big deal. Makeup Mobster. I don't think I've talked to her at all. I mean, I haven't been on panel with her. She's not in my Discord. I've never talked to her. Couch Clips, nope. Tragedy Pimps Exposed, nope. The Glare, nope. Lippy, nope. Savage Life, nope. Burnt Toast, nope. House of Williams, nope. Diamond Cutter, nope. Her Ambiguous Darkness, nope. But yet somehow... Oh, by the way, also, my Discord server is public. A lot of you are in there. So if you've ever seen me in the server talking to any of these people, you can call me out in chat now. Because when I'm in Discord, look, I'll show you right now. Look, you can see who's talking to each other. You can see it. Transparency. If you click the button, I can jump down here. I'm streaming right now, JD. I'm sorry to just bounce in on you, but I could jump down and talk to JD, but everyone's going to know I'm talking to JD. How are you, JD? What's going on, buddy? He might be AFK. Probably AFK. He's gaming. But this is what I mean. The people in here, if I'm talking to nonsense, if I'm talking to someone, they can just click and hear it. Transparency. Molly can come in here and jump in and talk and hear us. Betty could come in here and jump in here and talk and hear us. Leslie Bass, the Potato Heads, they could jump in and come hear us. Transparency. It is your fault. Yours. For not showing clips. For not proving your points. Don't expect people on the internet to trust you just because you're on the internet, number one. And especially don't ever think they're going to trust you when you have been proven to be such pathological liars, which everyone in this clip is been proven to be a massive liar. There are clips of these people out there saying one thing and then the exact opposite whenever they need to. And this applies to all of them. You won't find that from me.
One that is in charge of mass reporting on Twitter.
Just literally making shit up. Okay, so is it you in your genius mindset think that it's impossible for Heels in the Air to have just taken that clip, put it up on Twitter, and then other people to have seen it and shared it and talked about it so that people would tag under it? Now, again, you can't mass report people on Twitter. YouTube made Team YouTube on Twitter so that people who had an emergency situation that the algorithm would not help the team come in on. They can't get the algorithm to get the team in there, but it's a very important situation. If you're saying that what we've done by tagging Team YouTube is wrong, then you are saying that Mr. Beast is wrong. That PewDiePie and Markiplier, Keemstar, all of these YouTubers should be banned if what you're saying is true. But they shouldn't be because they did what they were told. YouTube themselves tells us to tag Team YouTube on Twitter.
And these things that this person was listing on Perplex channel there, like none of these are
No, I am not anti-LGBTQ at all. I am for freedom. I 100%, and I appreciate the question, I 100% support anyone being gay, trans, being you know how people assume the identities of a horse or something or a cloud. Go do it. I support you. I don't think it's healthy, but I'll support you doing it. I'm 100%, just like if you said that you were going to live in the woods and only eat tree bark, whatever it is. Well, if you'd said something like, I'm going to go hang out at Betty's house, I'm going to give you my opinion, right? I'm going to tell you what I think, but I support you doing it. I support the decision. So what do I think about people that are gay? There's nothing wrong with being gay. That's who you are. I have friends that are gay. I have best friends that are gay. Best friends that are straight. I don't get involved in their sex life. I don't want to get involved in your sex life. That's you. That's for you. Being trans. I can 100% sympathize with someone that has gender dysphoria, that feels as if they're in the wrong body, that is depressed over it. And I'm going to tell you one thing, and this gets a lot of people mad at me. I don't think we should influence them. I think we should let them be who they are. If they're gay, they're gay. If they're straight, they're straight. They need to be themselves. They don't need to be controlled or influenced. They need to have freedom. That's why I'm for freedom. I'm for the freedom of them being who they are. I'm for parents guiding their kids and having the freedom to guide their kids. And when they're 18, if they want to start hormones, if they want to change, if they want to have surgeries, whatever they want to do, I support you fully. 100,000%. I support freedom. I support freedom for you to do what you want to do and say what you want to say, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else, take away other people's rights. I don't want your rights taken away. Don't you have freedom of expression, freedom of religion, freedom to sexually express yourself how you want, freedom to live how you want? Yes, you do. I went and fought for your freedom. So for anyone to stand out there and say that I'm against people being gay or trans, they're just lying to you. To say that I'm hateful towards any of it, they're lying to you. They'll lie, they'll say it. But by every word that I've ever spoken now I've been this way since I started on this platform, by the way. Even before, but that doesn't matter. We're talking about me on YouTube. So ever since my channel started, I've said the same thing because that's what I think. That's me. Freedom. Why? Why do I believe in freedom? Because I think if you are gay and you live your life and you do what you got to do, you'll be happy. You'll know it. You'll experience life. You'll experience the things and everything else. I don't want to get in deep, but you'll figure it out. But if you're not gay and you think you're gay and then you end up finding out you're not gay, you have to live it. You have to have the freedom to live it, to know what you are. I know this because I went on this, little expedition where I traveled around the world trying to figure out my religion, trying to figure out what is this world? What am I? I've always been straight, never been gay, but I can sympathize. I understand. I've sat down and talked to my friend who was gay. Now this is back when I was like 16. And he was this is when people weren't accepting and he had to hide it. And he never had to hide it from us. He had this big friend group. We all played music together and everybody knew he was gay and he would date. He'd bring a boyfriend, to the show or whatever. Practice, whatever. And he'd flirt with me. I would just, take it as he's joking with me because he was joking, but being flirty. And he would tell me about how ashamed he had to feel. And that's why I think it's important for us to let people be free. Make either their experience to where they find out that they are that, or their mistake to find out that they're not. But if you try to tell them and you try to force them, then they're never going to know. They're never going to know. It's always going to be a question to them, right? They're never going to figure it out if someone's influencing it, if someone's forcing it. Thus why I base my decisions on how I respond to any topic off of freedom, off of logic, off of common sense, off of evidence, off of facts, right? A lot of people will be shocked when I tell them that I'm a Christian, because they'll say, well, you used to be an atheist for so long. Why did you fall out of atheism? And I didn't fall out of atheism. I realized through logic, reason, that there is a God. And then I realized through logic and reason that after reading every religious book I could find, that God has sent divine instruction and inspiration to the earth in certain scenarios in ways that mankind, in a lot of ways, weren't ready for. But eventually, after mankind and the philosophers out there and the people out there discussed and realized those revelations, because that's what it's called when there's a divine inspiration from God that does come from God. It's called a revelation. And I realized that there are saviors, there are revelations, and I do believe Jesus Christ is the risen savior of man. Logically, I came to that conclusion. But I would never try to change your mind if you didn't want me to, if you didn't want to hear from me, if you're not going to talk to me, if you don't want to talk to me, if you don't want to hear it. I want you, because you'll never realize it like I did unless you go through that journey. Unless you actually go out and seek the books, and I mean books from the Assyrians, the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, all the way through the Zoroastrians. I mean, if you're really confused about whether there's a God or not, you're going to want to look at our ancestors' opinions. Right? That's why I think freedom leads mankind to the only real good place. I think that any type of control and any type of control, not influence, control, any type of force is the root to evil. We were given free will. That's what made us what we are. The beauty of that free will is that the majority of people come to the conclusion that with free will, we still have to treat each other in the best way that we can. That's the beauty of free will, because that's logic, right? That's what makes evil evil. Control, force. So I hope I've given you a basis for my thought, so you know why I support LGBTQ. I support trans people. I support you being a socialist. I support you being a capitalist. I support you being whatever you are. But if you come talk to me, you know why I'll change your mind on everything? Because I'm right. Anyway, let's get back to it.
TOS related. How does this excuse her being mass reported?
What are you talking about? If I pull out a weapon right now, and I point it at my screen and pull the trigger, and I say, fuck y'all, and you all go report me, it is not mass reporting. It is not your fault. It's mine. These people, LB, Potato Head 1, and Potato Head 2, you are by far the worst commentators on this platform. The most uneducated, the most empty-headed, the most deceptive commentators on this platform, because you try to shroud your deception behind an appearance of truth.
Calling for mass flagging. Mass flag somebody's channel. It's against TOS to take a certain channel and constantly go after them without rotation. Like, that's harassment.
Without rotation? Are you an idiot? Have you read the terms of service? No, that's not true. What you just said is not true. If you're reporting the truth, it is not against terms of service. Terms of service are based on the truth, based on what's right and what's wrong when using YouTube. They aren't just these made up things. That's what the laws of our justice system are too. That's why none of you understand them. You can't apply basic logic here. How do you understand true crime? How do you understand law? How do you understand justice? This is why you go around saying that you're going to get justice for people all the time with a YouTube channel, when the only justice that could ever be shown on a YouTube channel would be the truth. Ever. A revelation of the truth would be the only time that a YouTube channel could even aid in justice, because justice isn't just an imaginary thing. Justice is not just a word. Justice is an actual action. Justice is an actual neutral. It's an actual solving of a crime. Justice is a solving of a wrong. You can never come to justice by lying. You can never come to the truth by lying, and you can never solve anything through lies and deception. I had to lie to you for you to realize the truth. No, you just don't respect them enough to tell the truth. You're too selfish. You are too selfish to tell the truth. That's what it is. Too selfish.
That's stalking at this point.
You motherfuckers are the stalkers, is what it is. Me? Now, what's the difference, dummy, between stalking and not stalking? If I'm reporting on what you're publicly putting out, what you're publicly choosing to put out, that's not going and digging up some social media account of yours like you motherfuckers do and going around looking at everybody's families and shit like y'all admit to do. That's the stalking. Going in and digging with them reports, going in and digging in all the shit you do, that's the stalking. The difference between stalking and not stalking, cyber stalking and not stalking somebody is, did the person whom you're talking about, did Queen Bee have a choice with the private information you put out? Did Molly have a choice to put her video out? Yes. And it's in the public realm? Yes. No matter if I cover it now, tomorrow, the next day, if I cover it for 5 months, because it relates to an overarching topic that we've been talking about, which everything I cover does, it's not stalking. If Molly puts her address out and I have to cover it, I could censor it, right? I could not censor it, though, because she put it out. If Molly puts her phone number out on her screen, on her channel, which many people do so they can have call-in shows, how would it be stalking for me to freaking show it if I'm commentating on the video? You all are so either dumb, dishonest, but it doesn't matter because you're the ones making the claim that you believe this. So you're both.
Right there with all of them, talking about mass flagging Molly on Twitter. And I really think that the mass flagging Molly or whatever is...
Or whatever. Like, I don't even know what I'm saying. My Instagram filter's melting my hair into the background.
Revenge.
I think that is calling for a mass flagging.
Sure you do. So thank you for admitting that you believe you're a mass flagger, Leslie. Thank you, potato heads, for admitting that you're mass flaggers. Because you are. You actually do go organize in servers to go to strike Katie Joy every time she uploads. You've admitted to this. You have gone to Twitter and called for this when she's never broken a term of service. When you should have been doing it only when she breaks a term of service, and then maybe she would have got a strike. You chose to do it every time she uploaded, and now you can't ever get her in any trouble when she does do something wrong. And now it seems like she's learned her lesson. I don't think she has, but she hasn't done anything wrong in a while. You gave her the opportunity to realize that, oh shit, if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm going to get banned, so I better stop. And she stopped. And instead of you going and reporting the streams where she did dox someone, you didn't. You reported everything she did, and you mass reported it all, and that's why she's still there. You failed. You're all failures because you're too obsessive. Because you're too stocky.
And people want to bring up today or whatever why she was mass reported, but this had to been multiple reports, whatever. This had to been an ongoing onslaught.
So I want you to hear what this unintelligent Instagram filtered potato head is saying. It had to be an ongoing onslaught. Not even good at repeating the script Molly gave her. You're not even good at it. Speaking of which, we're about to have some fun, baby.
That's what this means. And that's what this was. And why.
You just admitted you didn't know what it was. But now you're going to say that that is what it is. Do you know how you tell people what something is? By showing them the evidence. Because if you don't, you're just a liar. Isn't that some entitlement? Think we have to believe the things you say? That's some damn entitlement.
Because they didn't like her. They don't like her. That's why. Like.
Oh my God. I just got the best news. Hold on. I just got the best news. Okay. Thinking maybe for the Diablo 4 launch, it'd be a cool time to do a video interview with me and play Diablo together. A bunch of people will be excited about Diablo. I can play a necromancer named after my character. It'll be good because D4 comes out early June. My main novel comes out in late June. Oh my God, guys. As you guys know, I'm already told you I'm going to be playing Diablo 4 when it comes out. It's going to be my game that replaces Tarkov for at least a while. So what I just found out is that the Casey, the author of the novel that we're sharing, is going to come in and play Diablo with me, talk about his novel, and just do an interview while we play Diablo. This is exciting. This is really exciting.
Hi, I'm Alex Jones, and I do not support Menace to Sobriety because that motherfucker doesn't support me. But if you want to support him, you can. Over at PayPal, where your paychecks go to die.
I love Menace's comedy, dude. He's so good. Because you know what he's doing right there. You know what he's doing. Asmon has so many Diablo issues, and I love every second of it. I've watched Asmon since... I remember seeing Asmon on YouTube so long ago. And I'd go watch his Diablo 4 streams on Twitch, and I'd be like, I don't understand why so many people watch this guy. Like 3 months later, I'm hooked. So I've watched him for such a long time. I love the guy. Love him. I really hope we can take our channel to the next level through incorporating our show, a little bit of video games while doing interviews, and hanging out, relaxing, chilling. And I really think we're going to do this. I really think it's going to be good, guys.
So let's put...
By the way, we all can play together. And just so those of you out there that don't understand why I want to do Diablo 4, it's going to be this big open game where we all can play together, regardless if we have a computer or a different device. We can all play it together. That's why I want to play it, so that all of you can jump in and play with us.
Put this mass flagging narrative to bed, shall we? First off,
they are truly brain dead. Have you ever tried to compare them talking? You know, I won't compare him to me, but compare him to Nick on Queen Bee's panel. Compare him to Tim. Compare him to Queen Bee. Just go listen back and forth to one of them talking and then one of them, or myself. You could just hear the disrespect, the lies, the bullshit coming from them. And you'll hear all of us telling you why we think what we think, because we respect you as people. And I know it's cringy that I have to tell you that, but these people are lying at the baseline in the most obvious pathological way, and they truly think that some of you are going to believe them. Let that sink in. They have to think you are the dumbest, most gullible, most manipulatable motherfuckers on the planet. They have to really disrespect you to believe that about you. And don't even act like I'm making this up. I just told you how to prove it. You could go find their best segment ever. Go find Leslie Bass's best segment ever and compare it to my worst. Go find Leslie's best segment and compare it to Queen Bee's worst, Nick's worst, Tim's worst. Menace's worst, Navy's worst. They're all going to blow Leslie out of the water times a million because she's just going to tell you to believe her on everything she says. And then she's going to scratch herself and she's going to look all up in the air and be all upset and mad that you're not treating her like she's a damn princess that lives in a castle somewhere.
What is the importance of this narrative? Well, as we all know, the lion's share of Molly's social media income comes from
I gotta take my sweater off, y'all. Give me just 1 second.
Patreon and memberships. Since she no longer has memberships, she's gonna need those people to merge over into the Patreon lane, and at $50 a crack,
it's a bad lane to be in.
Without having the ability to stream and collect super chats, she's probably also hoping that many viewers who would normally super chat on a regular basis will decide to spend their money by merging into the Patreon lane as well. And, well,
it's a bad lane to be in.
Without having the ability to stream and keep the masses hyped up about her brand, it'll be a lot harder to encourage folks to donate through CASHAPP. The problem she's up against now is that she really needs people merging into that $50 Patreon lane, and
it's a bad lane to be in.
Now, given the fact that she was deplatformed for community guidelines violations, she's inadvertently left her viewers with no choice but to ask themselves if it's really worth it to drop $50 a month on a Patreon subscription when there's no content other than some drama and tea posts. I'm sure many are upset with her vile, incessant, and reckless community guidelines violations and may be ready to throw in the towel completely. This would leave Molly in a rough predicament. So what's the answer here? Well, it appears as though the plan is to keep the supporters corralled up like cattle in a pen by painting Molly out to be the victim. That's right. If Molly is the victim, then her supporters will throw some quick sympathy cash apps at her and merge on over to Patreon because, if for nothing else, they feel bad for her and don't want the poor victim to suffer financial hardships. In order to do this and secure Molly's financial stability, the route they've chosen was not that she had a bad fall and suffered a head injury with damage to her frontal lobe resulting in abnormal moral behavior. Nope. It wasn't that she's been under a lot of stress the past few months and flew off the handle because she's just been riding an emotional roller coaster and made some bad judgment calls. Nope. Instead, they blame nonsense, the big bad beehive, those pesky UNIRockers, and literally the entirety of the true crime community.
Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna peep
and
into
accused
it.
hundreds, if not thousands of people of mass flagging Molly. That is, filing frivolous reports on a large-scale level against her channel. The reason for this? Well, they're basically saying that if you file enough reports on someone, they'll automatically get a strike and eventually terminated. This, however, is a lie. They're trying to make Molly the victim and put the blame for her channel going down on us, you and I, in order to keep Molly's supporters sympathizing with her and sticking around throwing money her way. So is what they claim we did even possible? Of course not. They're just lying. As is common with these people. They lie to and mislead their audience in order to keep that money flowing. So let's find out for sure. Here's an article with searchenginejournal.com. And it's an interview with YouTube creator liaison Matt Colville. YouTube says videos won't get removed for too many flags. YouTube says videos will not automatically get removed for being flagged too many times. YouTube does not automatically remove videos or penalize channels for receiving a certain number of flags. All content goes through the same review process. So what they're saying is there isn't like an automatic system that will remove Molly's video after 1,000 flags or reports. YouTube creator liaison Matt Colville spoke with the company's trust and safety team to get the facts on what happens to videos that are repeatedly flagged. Flagging refers to reporting a video for violating YouTube's community guidelines. When people watch videos on YouTube, one of the things they can do is flag it by clicking on the 3-dot menu icon and clicking report. Now, interestingly enough, the majority of the reports on Molly's were done through Twitter. So Heels in the Air tweeted at Team YouTube with the clip that was problematic, and people were just retweeting that to get Team YouTube's attention. So they didn't even use the reporting feature on YouTube itself. Flags don't impact the outcome of a video's policy assessment. If a video gets 1 flag or 1,000 flags, it still goes through the same review process. It's possible that a video with thousands of flags will be scrutinized more than a video with fewer flags, but it will nevertheless get assessed by YouTube's content review team.
Sorry guys, I had to take off my sweater and I had to pee.
There's no system in place.
Okay, so you've heard enough, I think. You can go to Menace's channel right here. I'm going to drop this right here in the chat. You can go right here and see every detail from the terms of service listed. Every instruction. And then he'll show you that Molly told her Patreon that it was mass reporting. As you know, I'm just putting it in this video so it's complete. Then, as you know, she told her peons, people who 6, 7, 8 months ago I told you were lying for Molly. You now have hard evidence that Leslie Bass, the Potato Heads, Laura, and the others lied for Molly's entire career. They also should suffer the loss of any trust, of any support that they have on YouTube, because they're using everyone. But they're going to continue on. Not the Potato Heads, but Laura and Leslie will most likely continue scamming people into the future. And there's really nothing anyone can do about it until they violate TOS blatantly in front of everyone. But what's going to happen? The ones that are dumb enough to not be able to control themselves, like Dolly, JLR, and Betty, are going to fall. They're going to go down just like Molly. Though the ones that are they are learned pathological liars enough to be able to take Molly's banning, attempt to grab at Molly's subs, which Leslie and Laura have been doing viciously since Molly was banned. They're going to end up making more Molly money than Molly ever made, by the way. They are now picking up Molly's subs, bringing them in, taking them in, and monetizing and scamming them. So they're going to try not to via TOS. Let me give you an example. Laura cried that she was mass flagged when she went down on a recent video. Turned out she got that video brought up and it wasn't mass flagging that took it down, by YouTube's own admission. And still, she's going to tell you that it's all mass flagging because they are scammers. Somehow they don't think that pathologically lying to all of you with every intent and outcome of those lies, making them make money. And they don't think that that's a scam. I don't know who raised them. I don't know what kind of sheltered ass, protected ass life they've lived to not think that directly lying to a motherfucker, try to get the money out of their pocket, ain't a scam. But that's the definition of a scam, okay? That's the definition of scamming somebody. It is almost dinner time for me, and I have to go. There's Menace's video. I have to go pick up a couple things for dinner and then cook it. And then I'll be back online. You voted that you want me to react. Where's the video? Right here. You want me to react to Queen Bee's panel. Now, here's the thing. This panel is hilarious. This panel right here, I'm going to pull it up on my screen, is hilarious. Okay. It is hilarious. The potato head comes up on the panel and they completely own and destroy the potato head. She makes a fool out of herself. Every time other people start to explain to her where the evidence is to prove she's wrong, she starts yelling and screaming like a baby. And it is so cringily wonderful. You have to see it. But if I play it here, I'm only going to give her more attention. I'm only going to give her what she wants. Because she's been stalking my channel for years, lying to people about what I do, putting defamation and slander all over the place because she's jealous of me. Read my message on PayPal, Uni? Okay, Anita, I will right now. I will right now. Thank you. And that was so good. When you need to tell me something, use those little signs that have a lot of red in them. See how they're really red? Like that works so good. For a friend who needs a coffee. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Nita. I really appreciate you. And I really meant what I said, okay? Any of you guys that need to talk to somebody, join our Discord server. There's a lot of good people there. I'm really busy, but you will be able to talk to me there. You might not catch me all the time, or you might have to wait a little bit to catch me, because a lot of times I'm prepping a stream. Like, a lot of people don't realize I do work all day to be able to prep streams and uploads. And I am working on uploads as much as I get it. People don't believe me because my upload schedule's been slow, but I work on them every day. I devote time to them every single day. So if you want to join the Discord server, you will have to go through the mods in order. After you join, you'll have to go through the mods, and they'll instruct you on how to be there. The only thing we ask is that you link your YouTube account. That's it. So there's no way to get any information from you. It just shows, hey, this person is this YouTube account. That's all it does. You can even make a new YouTube account and have a new name and join if you don't want to link your regular YouTube account. We don't mind. So that way, if someone gets banned, their YouTube account is banned too. So if someone comes in and they try to dox somebody, or they try to do something wrong and they get banned, they're going to have to make a new YouTube account and a new Discord account to come in. And that's really complicated. Nobody's going to want to do that. You know what I'm saying? To keep joining. So that way it keeps the doxers out. Okay. Did I hit everything? I think I hit everything. So what I'm going to do, I am going to keep my word. You told me that you want me to react to this. I'm keeping my word. I'm reacting to this on kick.com/UNIRock right after this. So I'm going to go off the air. I'm going to go run. I'm going to get into Discord and talk to everybody. So if you're in Discord, jump in the general room now, Butterbot. We're going to hang out and talk while I run to the store. I'm going to come home. I'm going to eat while I turn on the kick stream, because I always turn on the kick stream a little early, because there's no way for me to, set kick. I'm going to go live in 20 minutes. So it starts telling you. So I turn on the kick stream. I play music for about 10 minutes and then I come in, and that gives time for people to show up that want to watch the kick stream. Okay. A little different than YouTube because it's a live streaming platform. Either way though, this is happening over on Kick, and it's going to be funny. Do you want to record some of my Kick streams and upload clips of them to YouTube? Do it. Make sure you tag me so that I can share your clip of me on my community tab and hopefully get you some views. Okay? Because I'm all about our community. I'm all about trying to do something semi-positive. As I know we're on the internet. It's not easy. Because really, we're just limited through a screen. But they can do a lot of damage through negativity, so we could probably do a lot of good with a little bit of positivity. Zach says, I used to listen to Molly. I thought you all were bad until I started watching you and saw what a liar she was. I wish your followers would do the same. Zach, listen, we just appreciate you, man. We're just normal people. I don't know what's wrong with Molly, but if Molly wasn't destructive, I wouldn't cover her. I'm probably not going to be covering her a lot in the future. Because of what's happened, because she's not on the platform. Unless she doxes people on Kick or something. I don't know. But I get it. She was lying. You know, when someone lies to you, they're doing it because they want to take advantage of a good person, right? But I appreciate you being here. Man, wow, I can't even believe you donated to me because I know they put a lot of stuff in your guys' heads over there about us. But I really am, it really does show how open of a person you are to hear both sides out. I want you to hear both sides. If I'm going to criticize somebody, oh, you damn well bet I am prepared for you to go listen to their shit. I will never tell you to not listen to them. You hear my words about them, I'm welcoming you to go hear their side because I have prepared my words. I have prepared my content, and I am coming from a place that I back up with evidence. And if they would do that too, and we actually could have a discussion where their opinion is versus our opinion, it'd be great content, wouldn't it? You know why they'll never do that? Because all they'll ever do is yell and scream because they're wrong. And this video is going to show you that on kick.com/UNIRock when I get back in about 45 minutes to an hour. You'll see me go live on Kick. I'll see you guys there. You guys are awesome. I love you. PayPal. Oh, there's the Discord link. PayPal.me/UNIRock. #UNIRock on Cash App. I'll be right back. We will be doing the after show, the extra content tonight on Kick. I hope to see you there because damn is that platform blowing up and it's been fun over there. We are monetized there. We are trying to get ourselves that check mark over there. We just need a little more followers and we'll have it. See you there. You guys are awesome. We'll be right back. This has been UNIROCK Live, 4/12 of 2023, 4:07 p.m. or 16:07.